actually terrifying when the eye starts like doing that.
Okay, we are doing session 1 of the as yet unnamed masks EG game. Our stars for the evening are
Hi, I'm Silhouette. You'll never see me coming.
Hi, I'm Ember. I fight fire with fire.
Hi, I'm Palacine. Don't know what I am? Neither do I.
all right. So we did a little bit of setup last time. Last time we made up our characters. We're gonna do a quick reintroduction now that we have little hot things up here. So we're gonna go around the same order so we don't get too confused. Silhouette,
Okay.
you are a which playbook?
Protege.
And your mentor is
Vigil.
Vigil's like what is Vigil?
Vigil's like a data collector. Very, very like stealthy, more
Observer kind of.
yeah. What do they call the missions in like the Young Justice? Like the
Stealth missions?
yeah, like the stealth missions. Yeah.
She's the stealth mission. For who though?
For the what did you call them? The overseers.
Oversight.
Oversight
is the big
for oversight.
Oversight is the big superhero,
Mhm.
like the really well-known superhero group that's
Yeah.
kind of out of the city.
Not like main, not like. When you
So your
think of the
protege, do you
team,
have like
yeah.
powers or anything like that?
Yeah. So,
Are you just like
I'm
Robin?
blind.
You're blind.
So
That's not a power though.
I know, but I have hypersenses, so that being blind helps with the hypersenses and stuff.
How so? How does it help?
Because you have one less sense to deal with.
So you don't get overwhelmed?
True.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Ember.
Yes.
Ember, what's your playbook?
I'm the Nova.
Okay. And what's your, this may be a bit of a giveaway with your name, but what's your power? Like, what's your deal?
I have elemental control, but with fire and things like heat and stuff.
Cool. I was going to ask, because you've got this, you've been kind of like working on your suit and everything like that, but your dad's not in the picture, your mom's around.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get the suit?
Funny question. Funny story.
Or are you just like kind of, is it like the early days of Spider-Man where it was like basically sweatsuits and stuff like that?
Okay. Wait, have you been to school yet?
Not really. This is the first day.
Oh, okay.
I think I should probably would have worked on making it probably.
Yeah, for a while, I was kind of trying to just find things to, like clothing that would kind of control it and cover it up, and
Like when you're on fire.
and it just ended up turning into like a suit. So.
I'm really annoyed because apparently I did spell it wrong.
Yep. I told you spelled it
I
wrong.
gotta fix it. All right, Palacine. What's your playbook? You got to talk now.
I'm the outsider.
You're the outsider. You're from outer space.
Yeah.
I was curious about something. We didn't really talk about this. You don't really have family or anything here, like, or support network or anything. So, are you? I mean, I'm assuming you have some kind of wealth or something like that. But are you?
Sleeps in her ship.
We're gonna have to figure out. Like, we need to make your ship a little bit bigger because you need a bunk, or something like that. But that's actually a really cool idea.
And she hides it.
I want it
her
like
ship
hanging.
underground.
I want it like hanging from like a highway overpass, but like camouflage, so it's like kind of hanging like a wasp.
Like it's a
cocoon or something.
hammock and it completely engulfs you. Like the cloth just kind of goes
bigger,
over.
like a wasp nest, kind of hanging underneath, but it's
Oh,
all
yeah,
camouflage,
that's
just
cool.
hanging from underneath, and you just kind of climb up. That's kind of a really cool idea.
Yeah, so as people are driving by, sometimes they just see you climbing the sign.
Well, she can fly,
Or, like,
so
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But like,
Disappears into thin air.
yeah. The homeless people around the area have stories about some kind of weird. Oh man, I'm telling you, she went up underneath the bridge and she's just gone, man. And like it was this weird kind of thing. And it looked like it was moving, but I couldn't really see it. And, oh, it was so weird. Anyway,
like how much weed did you
There you go. All. Okay. So Palacine, you're an outsider from another planet. The planet you're on the run, kind of, because the planet's currently being like occupied by Dominus. Did I say Dominus?
No.
Is that what we figured out?
No.
Vanquish.
Vanquish. Got the
Bloody
wrong.
Vanquish.
Dominus.
Dominus is another bad guy in the deck, so I got him confused with.
Yeah, there's only like 100.
There's only like 100, so I got. So yeah, Vanquish. So you're kind of on the run and sort of trying to figure out your way here. All right. So the last thing we did after we got them with the character generation, getting you guys all kind of worked out with influence and everything like that. Oh, you need to write down, because you had a new sheet. Write down that you've got influence. Like write down influence and then the 2 names, because.
I already wrote that down. Wait, did I say that?
Nope.
Double N.
So you guys were, because you guys all go to Phoenix Academy. We're using the Phoenix Academy.
Mr. Brick.
We're using the Phoenix Academy kind of setup from one of the Masks books. So kind of a superhero high school that's been shut down and turned back, started back up multiple times, hence Phoenix Academy. And it's currently outside of the city, kind of outside of the city of Voltaic. We're just sort of out in the bay on an artificial island, because it tends to attract violence and people don't really like it in their neighborhood. So neighborhood. So it's out in the bay, and you guys had been bussed to, various of you had been bussed to the docks, and we're waiting for the ferry to show up. All right, and kind of talking and keeping, kind of wondering if you were going to run into certain boys that you may have seen the year before. Because Amber's been.
Dad, scene, really?
I didn't say scene.
Yes, you did.
Did I? Well, whatever.
Scene.
Quinn's been to the school through freshman year. You two guys haven't been before. Ember and Palacine, you guys haven't been to the school before, so this is the first time for you. You're all sophomore. You're all 15-ish, right? Sophomores. And starting up the school year, kind of talking, all that kind of stuff. And as while you were doing that, static along your skin, a little tingling in the air, that scent of ozone.
Metallic smell.
My hair.
Ooh.
And
Ooh, this is special.
and Silhouette was able to kind of figure out that something was coming, and what the signature, that the sort of the signs of it probably meant, which of course meant, the electricity and stuff like that. She guessed that it was probably Voltaic coming here. So I'm on the wrong thing. Let's switch over. That's very funny. All right, so figured it was probably Voltaic. An AI kind of robot thing who used to be actually a hero and sort of decided all supers need to die. Apparently he's decided to target this dock full of young, super-powered individuals.
To be heroes.
Would be heroes.
Right, they're not all superheroes.
They're not all supers. Yeah,
Some
there's.
of them like this superhero
Like
lottery.
basically Sawyer.
No, they won the more
Our
not
school.
superhero lottery, but like the cool school lottery, because Phoenix does get a lot of the best instructors, and it's a pretty.
Do you think Miss Sawyer from our school?
No, I don't know who Sawyer is. I don't know anybody.
She's really smart, but basically she would be a non-super.
Yes. Sometimes you can get in on grades. Sometimes you can get in on like a lottery kind of a thing where you just go get lucky, stuff like that. So it isn't all supers, although there's certainly probably some out here in the crowd. So we originally, and I'm going to kind of track this way. We went through last time and set up our team points. We kind of said you're about to face a dangerous threat. So we had built out our team points with Silhouette as the leader, because she was like sort of assessing the situation and like reading the files, and she knew some stuff to do. Try to get Voltaic in the water.
Ooh, I have +1 forward right now, don't I?
For your role against.
I have the move of
Technically, anybody has a +1 forward if they act on the information that you showed. Okay.
which is literally just
Trying to get him in the water.
Yeah. Anyway.
So
we also agreed, didn't we, that Palacine is the one who's gonna jump in and make sure.
well, you don't like water because you're on fire,
Yes.
and she doesn't like water
Because I
because
can't
see
because
things.
it messes
See,
up
quote unquote.
It messes with your senses. That could probably be addressed with lots of practice. And Vigil has mentioned on more than a number of occasions that she's going to starting you on scuba lessons
She's been
Sooner.
very busy lately.
sooner rather than later. So to kind of give you guys an idea of the map here, if you guys look over at the thingy here, I'll draw this in here a little bit. I'll do it like that. Will that work? Yeah. Perfect. So you see the arrow?
Yes.
Your hair
Or
like
do you?
takes every little
No, I don't.
effect.
I don't see the arrow, but I see
You
it.
see the arrow.
Oh,
I see
weird.
it on your screen.
your hair has like every little effect. So like this tiny
Oh,
little
there's
like
the arrow.
static.
Oh, did it show
figure
finally?
just-
Okay. All right. So
Oh wait, now
Yep.
I see an arrow.
I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter color there. All right.
Oh wow.
Oof.
So
I definitely see
That's the direction that the ferry is coming in.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna move it back a little bit because you guys are. You see here this little narrow kind of strip of land here with the trees along it.
Yeah.
That's where you guys kind of line up, and then the ferry comes up alongside of it. You guys can run everything.
And
So-
we jump on while it's still moving.
So what you're actually seeing is Voltaic, well, seeing or sensing, is Voltaic charging down like sort of along this way, coming from the other direction.
Like from like the opposite direction.
Yeah, kind of coming. I'll draw another line. I can draw another line. I have that power. So he's coming kind of from this direction. There, and kind of coming up that way at you guys. Like, so he's been kind of.
Still don't see it.
It'll come.
Oh, okay. Only
Bright
see it
color.
now.
So she kind of running up out of that area there and running towards
The
the dock area where you guys
Okay.
are. So you got a crowd of kids. Most of them haven't realized that anything's really up at this point.
And Kat didn't, or Quinn didn't want to alarm anyone.
don't want to make a panic.
Right. So
Just need to fight him.
what do you do? What do you do and who do you, well, I don't know. Who's acting first?
Well, I have an idea of a move I want to do at some point, like fighting move, but
I can always like push people back by
that's the opposite of what we want to do.
Well, no, I don't mean
I
right
literally
away.
just said I don't want to make a panic.
No, I don't mean right away. But if somebody runs forward, like because they see a
Well, I mean, if somebody
like-
decides they want to be fair, if somebody in this crowd decides that they want to fight the guy,
no, I mean
they're
run,
probably super.
run as
Run.
in panic.
Like
Like they're
oh
running.
shoot,
Oh,
that's
I
a
see.
out.
And but they're running like they're just running because they're scared.
Thus
But-
far, nobody's running because nobody's
Yeah.
really realized. A couple people are like a couple people are like kind of like laughing, going, "Hey, look at your hair." You know, they're not really getting what that means.
You're weird.
No, not specifically looking at Palacine, but like it's happening to other people.
Just her more like.
He is no the front cover of this of this comic, because comic books always have like a front cover that's like the way the action could go, but usually not the way the action is. So
Yeah.
you've got like if it was like a picture of
Like we'll take there
So-
like this and all of us like that.
so it's a
Like,
picture of Voltaic, and you guys are the picture on the front cover is Voltaic there, and he's got like lightning arcing off of him, and the lightning is arcing to all these people, and there's like unconscious or maybe dead high schoolers laying everywhere, and you three are like cowering over the things like Voltaic wipes out the Halcyon High, that kind of a thing. It's like and grabbing Ember by like the front of the shirt and holding her there. She's unconscious, and he's like, that kind of thing is like the front cover.
yeah.
But it
Um,
like didn't actually like happen.
We don't know.
Back.
That's why you buy the comic,
Yeah.
so you can find out if that's what happened. Oh my God, did it kill everybody?
But
Yeah.
clickbait.
Did this comic go hardcore? It's issue 1.
Comic
I don't
book.
know. Maybe they did kill everybody.
I feel like that's what we should call it for session.
What?
Comic book clickbait.
That's kind of awesome. Issue 1.
Comic book clickbait.
Comic book clickbait. Yeah, you're real. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Clickbait is a very, very, very old concept. It goes back to basically since there's been printed media for people to, or even before then.
Right.
All right. So, who's got an idea? Who wants to do something? What are you gonna do?
snake, 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 snake.
I'm a little
Happens.
hesitant. I want to do something, but I'm not sure what to do.
Um,
So I'm like kind of preparing myself, like warming.
Are you gonna?
myself
Okay,
up
so do you
to-
want to power yourself up?
Yeah, kind of like powering myself up, but hesitant to actually move forward and do something.
Sounds good. We're going to be going through this quite a bit, where we talk about like if you're going to do something and it goes with a move, I'm going to have you read the move so we can all get kind of familiar with what it does. So take a look at burn. Okay, read the move burn because you're a Nova and this is how burn works for you.
When you charge up your powers, roll plus conditions you currently have marked. On a hit, hold 3 burn. On a 7 to 9 mark, a condition. On a miss, hold 2 burn and mark 3 conditions.
Okay,
So you want to get a hit.
So this is how this works. You're going to take. Now you don't have any conditions right now because everything's brand new. So basically, this is just a straight up roll. You see what you get. So the thing is, you talked about how your character's like fire. Emotions are a big deal. The conditions that you can pick up are things like afraid and angry and guilty and that kind of stuff. As you can, and what you do is high numbers are good, right? And you get to add your conditions to your roll. So it really is true. It's really easy for you to power up if you're emotional. But it's also really easy to kind of be.
Can I also like kind of decide on certain emotions that that kind of like insecure
It depends on.
really help me power up? It kind of like more would bring me back because
It affects other things that you try to do.
Okay.
So you
Yeah,
see here
so-
like insecure gives you a -2 when you're trying to defend someone, or if you're trying to reject somebody's influence, like if somebody tries to tell you the way the world works.
Oh, okay.
So it'll help you no matter what. It's just like if you
Got it.
so
That
if
makes
you're
sense.
like
Okay.
if you're trying to be like, hey man, I got you on this. You're
When
insecure.
it comes to
You don't really know.
But when it comes to tapping into your power, any emotion is good emotion,
Okay.
even when it probably isn't. And there's a couple different ways when you get these conditions of getting rid of them. The nicest way of getting rid of them is if somebody helps you by giving you sort of a comfort and support, saying, hey, you're awesome. I just want you to know I'm here for you. I think you're
Take
great.
a bubble
You know,
bath.
that kind of thing. And you kind of basically give them a group hug,
Bubble
whatever.
bath.
There's
She turns
also,
into bubbles. She's like, I got you, man.
and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but there's things you can do for every one of your conditions to get rid of the conditions on your own. None of them are emotionally healthy things to do, but they also get rid of it. So if
Take-
you're
Like, get rid of angry if you like. If you
Go and punch someone
Like-
in the face.
break something important,
Yeah.
hurt
Yeah.
somebody, if you're
make a
afraid,
decision without consulting the team.
if you're afraid, you can get rid of it by running away from something difficult. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just going to ditch
that makes
instead of
sense.
taking this test. Like, you're clear afraid, not going to feel really good about it. Insecure, take foolhardy action without talking to your team first. If you're hopeless, fling yourself into easy relief. Like, I'm bailing out of class for 2 hours and going to an ice cream shop and eating 4 sundaes. Like, I feel like crap afterwards. I'm kind of sick to my stomach and I missed 2 classes, but I'm not hopeless anymore.
Wait, can I go grab another glass of water?
Absolutely. All right. So when you get back, we're gonna have you roll for burn
Okay.
and get you all wound up. So she's gonna like
You want
do
one as
her.
well?
What's that?
You grab mine. Can you grab me a Coke Zero? It's right out of the fridge.
You guys are great. Let's see.
Just made a colorful
Yes,
bubble.
Because what I want to do at some point is like, kind of like vault like behind him, like while he's running. So he's coming this way. I jump over him, back of the head, and slit him right into the ground. You know, but I need to get there first.
But he has
If I surprise him, like, you know, he's not like constantly like shield of electricity, right? He's not like constantly.
Human beings have an immeasurable desire.
I was
don't
looking.
have an immeasurable desire.
I'm looking for the thing.
I'm not a human being.
No, I'm looking for the bit where Johnny Storm like fires up.
I
the
have
first-
an immeasurable
You can
desire.
change the course of history.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't need that. Anyway, okay. So
Hold on, I have to take a shit, but I cover my hands.
when you like burn up, like start the burn.
Like during Search up Dragon Ball Z Ascending.
I'm not. We'll find it later.
It's just like
But the idea, like,
Into bubbles to celebrate.
so if you like, does the fire like wreath up around you and stuff?
No, so it always kind of starts from my hands, and the next place it would travel, if I'm like really angry and I can't control it,
Straight
is
up.
like up my arms, and then kind of like
Into your hair
around
and
my
stuff?
hair, and then down. So, but it always starts from my hands, and when I'm not super angry, I
So
would
the
usually
fingers like little ball.
I would usually like
Sparks are
clasp
flying.
my hands together, try to like warm myself up because I keep going back and forth, with like warming it up. So
Like, just random question for me. Like, say you're like firing at me. You have like this little like fireball that goes into the pond like this. Will it like immediately like spark up your arms? Like clasp your hands together and just
well, it depends what like if it was just a fire I lit my hands and I did that, that would be like extinguishing. But if it was like a fireball, yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So, but if it was like a fireball, and I did
Okay.
like this, it would like it wouldn't hit my hand. It would
Okay.
stop here.
So let's see how your burn goes. Give me a roll. 2 dice, and you just add them together. That's a
dang.
really good. You're really good.
That is your first roll of the game.
That's an 11.
11.
Very nice. All right. So what is that? So read the bit where it says if you get a 10 plus.
Okay. On a hit, hold 3 burn.
Okay. And so that's just true for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the 7 to 9 is take a condition or something, right?
and-
So it's still 3 burn for. It's usually take a condition too. In this case, you didn't take a condition, so you're not. This is not scaring you so far.
Mhm.
So you're kind of warming yourself up.
Yeah,
kind of
she
heating
didn't
yourself.
scare me too much because they said like they were.
We know how to take
The thing
it.
is with burn is that there's a potential for you to like kind of let yourself out a little bit, let the power out, and actually scare yourself just by letting it out. That's what taking those conditions to mean. You
Yeah.
could end up like going and go, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
How
It's a
do
lot.
I
And
get
you-
rid of it?
Right, and you
Yeah.
can suddenly be insecure, afraid, blah blah blah. Pick up,
Flashback to the park.
right, flashback to the park, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. In this case, you're focused.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've got what are your flares that you picked?
So shielding,
Shielding?
moat, boost, and elemental awareness.
Which is like just knowing stuff about your element and stuff like that. Does lightning fall within the heading of fire for you?
You'd probably have to
Um,
practice.
Yeah,
Eventually,
but not right now. You've never really
No.
thought about it that way.
the most it can do is like a small fireball.
I'm not saying
Like
like
that.
could you control lightning, but I'm saying when you're trying to sense your element, does lightning show up on the radar for you? Or probably not yet.
Eventually, but at first it would have to be like in very close radius or be happening right.
It's like
at
if you
that
were
moment.
looking at your element like as a timeline,
Yeah.
you can see like the fire here and you can see the lightning in the distance, but you're not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. All right, so you power up, and you hear a couple of people.
Oh.
I'm going to be such a jerk right now, but it's totally going to happen. You hear a couple of other people in, like, other classmates and stuff like that. It's like, oh, God, she's, like, showing up for power. We aren't even in school yet. It's so lame. I can't believe that she's, like, powering up. We're, like, in line for the bus, and she's showing off. It's like,
Welcome to high school.
I'm like, no, I swear I'm not. I promise. Look, a big scary monster.
No, if you do that, then
no,
they're gonna be
no.
like,
I'm just.
got this.
and you
I'm
hear,
joking,
like,
I'm
and you hear,
joking.
like one jock, it's like, well, hey.
Yeah.
God,
like,
I hate people so
Man,
much.
why does she have to show off like that? That's so.
I
Okay.
already have my powers on like all the time.
So they're going to. What are your things out here? All right. So
I'm sorry.
so
My powers
the
are on at
muttering.
all
The
times.
muttering. No, here's the thing. My
Not in
assumption
original
here
form.
is that it's hard for you to tune out the voices of other kids.
100%.
Totally hard for you to tune out the voices of other kids in your class and stuff like, especially since you haven't really met anybody yet. So what they want to do right now is they want to shift your labels. People with influence over you. In this case, it's kind of like the school as a whole,
Yeah.
the student body as a whole has influence over you. People with influence over you can shift your labels.
Mhm.
So they want to shift your freak up and shift your mundane down because you're acting like a freak and you're acting like you're not normal. So they want to shove one up and shove one down. You can let that happen, or you can roll to resist it.
Okay.
Are you hearing this? Is it hitting home? And Do you feel like a freak and feel like you're just not normal, or are you like, no, man, I'm doing this to save your butt. This is not me being a freak. This is me being normal.
More like I feel like it's not my place. Like I shouldn't be doing it. Somebody else should.
Okay.
So it is affecting me, but not more like, oh, I'm a freak, but more like, oh, I shouldn't be doing
All right.
this of all people. Like,
Let's see if you can tune it out. So now there's a move in here for this. It's on the inside sheet. It says when you reject someone's influence, roll. Now you don't get to roll anything special because you would if you had influence over this other person. So if this was Silhouette saying something about you, you could kind of go, hey, I got influence over you, man. I can tune you out.
Freaking
Like,
flashy
you listen
power.
to me, I listen to you. But since you don't, you just roll. So you just roll and see what you get. All right. All right. That's a 9. It's not terrible. When you reject someone's influence, roll. On a hit, and that counts as a hit, 7 or up is a hit, you successfully hold to yourself and you tune them out. On a 10 plus, you get to choose 2 things off the list. On a 7 to 9, you just get to choose 1. Okay? You can clear a condition. You don't have one. Or mark potential. That means basically get a little check of XP. Okay? If you immediately act to prove them wrong. Okay? That's one of your options.
oh no.
Okay? You can choose to shift one of your own labels up and one of your labels down however you want instead. Or you can cancel their influence. Okay? That means you won't be influenced. This is kind of a big deal. You can choose to cancel their influence so you won't be influenced by the student body. Like all these people murmuring behind your back. You can choose to tune them out and you actually get a +1 forward against the student body. Now, odds are you're not going to end up with a fight with the student body, but this could be a verbal argument sometime down the road. We can just kind of write this down. It's like, remember, next time you got to face off against like basically all of the kids in school, for whatever reason, you get a +1 on the roll. So, act to prove them wrong and take some XP. Shift a label up and label down on your own, or cancel their influence and take a bonus against them going forward.
By the way, if you want to act immediately and you don't know how to do that, I have an idea, but it's your decision.
Yeah, everybody can kind of chip in ideas if you're kind of like, I don't know what that looks like.
I want to act, but I definitely want to act.
Okay.
But I'm not sure how I would, because
I got you.
Okay,
Let me see if I can frame it up in a way that might give you an idea.
my first idea would be like, but I don't. It would kind of go against what our whole plan was, so I don't think it because I would. Even if I were to act immediately, my character would definitely still be second guessing. Like, wait, is this fitting with the plan? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, you're tuning them out and you're acting. So you might be second guessing in your head, but you're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing.
Okay.
What they're saying is, you're just showing off. You're just doing this because you're just doing it to be.
Hey
Whatever.
everybody, look at my nice fire powers.
Yeah.
Bet
You
y'all
do-
don't have that.
You're doing this because you're a freak. You're doing this because you don't know how to act like normal.
Okay.
And you can act to prove them wrong by basically showing them what you're really doing it for. So if you kind of rise up 5 or 6 feet and just blast Voltaic, like fire blast over their heads, and they turn around and go, oh crap, there's a deadly robot
At
attacking
this
us.
moment, I don't know how to go. I don't know how to levitate higher than 4 feet.
I have an
That's
idea.
enough to get up over their heads so you can blast them up.
Well, I have
That's
an
true.
idea. Well, what if you like?
I was just gonna
Sorry.
take because I'm kind of I was charging up. So I instead of just fire in my hand, it's more like a fireball. So I was just gonna shoot it at his chest.
Okay, yeah, that's totally cool. Love it. All right, so we will get to everybody, but there's a nice little cascade of events going on. So you're like, oh, hey, don't panic, anybody. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, and you kind of look around like, oh, you guys suck. And like throw the, do you rise up enough to like throw it over their heads, or you just kind of like, everybody move?
I rise up
Just kind of give yourself that
Enough
little
for-
push off the ground and then fling it.
which loses
They're
some
like,
of the power, but I don't know how to split it up yet.
Okay. So you don't have the flare that lets you attack using like as part of the Nova thing, but everybody can attack. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit more risky when you do it the regular way. So that's a move called directly engage a threat. Would you read me directly engage a threat?
Is that bad?
No, I recognize it. It happens a lot.
When you directly engage a threat, roll plus danger on a hit.
Roll plus danger.
Plus danger. On a hit, trade blows. On a 10 plus, pick 2. On a 7 to 9, pick 1.
All right, go ahead and stop there. All right, so what that means is you're going to exchange, exchange blows with another thing.
Yeah.
All right, so this is really simple. You roll, and this time you actually get to add something. So this time you get to roll and add freak. Or no, sorry.
No, danger.
Roll and add danger. So one of the things that you can do, one of your flares that you have that you didn't take, but you might have an option to take later, is it lets you roll freak instead of danger when you're attacking, which is kind of nice if your freak ends up being like a big stat for you. Anyway, all right, so go ahead and roll and add plus danger. Man, your dice are hot right now. So that is
9 plus 2 is
50.
no.
that's 11.
All right. So that gives you, on the 10 plus, go ahead and finish reading them. 10 plus, pick 2. So your options are what?
Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
So the deal with this is, and this is how directly engaged threat works. Generally speaking, I don't roll basically anything in the game. Okay? This is different than D&D. I don't roll for the bad guys. I don't roll anything. If you are directly engaging, and this is one of the ways that I can have a guy hurt you, is during a directly engage, the assumption is you hit them, they hit you. Okay? You can choose, since you rolled well enough, one of your options is I hit them, they do not hit me. Okay? So that's one of your options that you can do. Take something from them. That can be something physical, like they've got a gun, I knock it out of their hand. If
they have the magical orb that holds the soul of our planet.
They have a hostage, I take stuff from them. Or I take away their ability to fly. I take away their ability to run. I take away their something. You can take away symbolic things.
If they do hit me, it would never be enough to kill me,
No,
right?
no.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. I'm going to answer that. I'm going to say no, they won't kill you, and I'm going to answer that further in just a second. Okay? So take something from them. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies means you give an opening to other people playing. And impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition means that you will. You ever played MMOs? No. Okay. You kind of you pull aggro. They are going to focus on you. Where you kind of go, there's a couple different ways. You might frighten them, and they might be, if they're a bunch of mooks, he's not likely to be frightened. Voltaic's, that's not really how he's wired. Literally, I guess. He's not really wired to be frightened, but he might be impressed. He might be surprised that somebody, detected him so quickly and did something about it.
So if he was surprised, would it more be like a, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
Or would it more be like
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that's, he's
like
something
surprise my.
The bonus is he's not going to be electrocuting every single person on the dock. He'll just be trying to fry you.
Okay.
Yay!
Special.
I think I know.
So you get
which
two
I
options.
want.
Which ones do you want?
I want create an opportunity for your allies and impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Okay, so first thing you do is you throw that fireball, and you've seen this probably in a bunch of different little animes and stuff like that, where somebody gets hit and they like get knocked back on on their back feet and kind of grind back through the pavement and stuff like that, like kind of skid backwards. Yeah. Is that what it looks like, or is it more like a kind of an explosion kind of on his chest
No,
kind
it's
of a
more
thing?
just like
Okay, so there's a big burst of flame and smoke, and you really can't, like, you think maybe I got him?
Dang, first try. Hey, man.
Because you're not really seeing him, and he's a silver. Okay, where's he at? What number is he? 23. All right. Really?
I'm just going through my story. That's it.
All right. Okay, so he is the blast and there is a blast. This lightning comes out of the cloud before you even see him. The lightning's coming, and you're still kind of almost kind of hovering a little bit and kind of whoa. That first time Tony Stark tries to fly in the air, it's a little bit unsteady. I've really tried this thing, and the lightning comes, and you're just kind of like deer in the headlights. The good news is you're not going to take any conditions from this.
It's just gonna hurt.
So you've seen you've probably seen videos or something like that, like the whole idea of somebody taking electricity where they're like shaking and stuff like that. This hits you, and every muscle in your body just locks up, and I mean painfully, because you bend backwards, and you feel all the muscles in your neck seize up in your back, and you're like bent basically backwards. You go, and she goes. You see her kind of like lock like that, and she goes down onto the pavement, and is still like that. Like her muscles won't. She's not still getting hit by the electricity, but her muscles are still locked up.
Her hair is just.
And that's still like
it's as big as mine.
So
I give you an opportunity.
The only thing touching on the ground because she's so tense is where her hands are out, the back of her head, and the heels of her feet. Everything else is arched up in the air, and she's just shaking. Okay.
Okay, part of me wanted to take a hit to show them, like, I did this for you. Okay, guys.
I like that.
Look at me now,
guys.
Look what I've done for you,
Guys, I realized we don't have to actually get him in the water. I can just Wonder Twin Powers.
I feel like maybe I'm just running by her, like, God,
I think
it's a
it'd be
precarious
safest
position.
to get him in the water, because remember, he has come back before. So if we can get him unconscious and then bury him in the water and then take him apart, then he could never come back.
Okay, so this happens, and he steps. Voltaic steps out of the smoke. What you are doing is brave enough, but insufficient. You are children. You are a threat to this world, and you will be eradicated. You are not powerful enough to face me. Stand down and kneel for your fate. And
Can't kneel, man.
Yeah.
Can't kneel.
Okay, so here's the part that kind of sucks for kids in masks.
Oh, is he gonna shift our labels?
Yeah, adults all have
But
it.
he's counted as an adult,
He counts as an adult.
even though he's a robot.
Yeah.
You're not my real father.
Unfortunately, it's all adults. So he absolutely counts as an adult. He's going to try and shift your levels. What he wants to do is he wants to shift, and you guys can all decide how you're going to deal with this. He wants to shift your danger down, and he wants to shift your mundane up. Because you're just regular kids, you're not enough for this, and you are not a threat.
That's not happening. I'm not going to take
Okay,
that.
so we're going to start with Silhouette. Silhouette, you need to resist the thing. And if you remember, when you go to resist...
So am I still locked up?
Yeah, but you still...
You're probably out for a hot second, sweetie.
Yeah, you're...
Or am I
you are
paying
actually,
attention to what he's saying, or am I just
yeah, I think I won't make you shift your... You already had to deal with somebody trying to shift your levels. I'm not going to hit you with it again. You two, on the other hand, absolutely. So Silhouette. So again, if you want to resist influence, you just need to, you just roll. You don't get any extra bonuses on it. You just roll and see what you get.
Never let him touch your dice, by the way. After that, they're cursed. You can't use them anymore.
That's not how it works.
Oh, yes, it is.
All right, what'd you get?
11.
Very nice. All right, so you reject someone's influence. Incidentally, you get to mark. I forgot about this. Ember, you get to mark potential. Where's the potential at? It's on the other sheet, on the other page. Because you acted immediately to counter his, the influence that you did. Nah, don't color it in because you're going to be erasing those all the time. So just do a little X.
Literally.
Make a nice light X so you know that it's there, but that's your first XP. Nice job. You got a 10, so you can you get to choose 2. Clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift a label up and one label down, your choice. Cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them. Pick 2.
I want
wait, hold on.
resist.
Yeah, sure.
What did my create an opportunity for my allies do?
His counterattack was only you, not everybody.
Okay.
So the opportunity here is these guys get a free shot. He's kind of, you don't know this, but his power right now is going into keeping you immobilized.
Oh, okay.
So we know that our
He
characters
doesn't just project electricity; he controls electricity. He shot some into you,
Okay.
and now he is jacking up your internal
He's
nervous
literally
system.
making it so that you
It's okay.
can't
My
move.
nervous system was already jacked up. I get so insecure about people.
I don't think that's what I meant. But anyway. All right.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
So you've got options, and it's in here on the internal fold of your move sheet. The options that you've got there, and I'm gonna while you're figuring out which ones you want, right here, third column rather, resisting, third column.
Project someone's
Yeah, there you go.
influence.
Look at the options that you have. You get 2. Let's find out. You just roll and see what you get. All right. Palacine gets an 8. Okay. On the 7 to 9, you get to choose one of the things from the option list here. So clear condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift one label up, one label down, your choice. Or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
Oh wait, she
No.
still hit. That's right.
I will say 4, yeah, she still got a hit. She
Yeah.
doesn't have 10.
Yeah.
10s are actually, 10 and ups are actually fairly rare. 7 and 9s are much more common. I will say for the record, you don't have to act immediately to prove them wrong for the other options. It's only the mark potential or clear a condition. If you want those options, you've got to like immediately act to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? All right? So, what you doing? You got your thing? What are you doing?
Alright, so I want to cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them. So now I have +2 forward against him.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to spread that out because the things don't stack necessarily, but you've got multiple actions for bonuses. And actually did you get a 9?
No, I got all of them.
When you were attacking, you didn't need it yet. So there's actually a number of +1 forwards going right now.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. You got 2 floating around for that.
And then I want to mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong.
Okay. And what are you going to do? What option are you going to choose?
I think I'll do the mark potential.
Okay, so and so he's saying you're not tough enough to face me. You're not strong enough to face me. Just kneel and face your fate. You're just regular. You're a danger, but you're not. You're just pathetic little children. Are you attacking to like prove him wrong? Is that the deal?
I was thinking I could like fly up and grab him and like throw him to the ground.
Nice. What form are you going to be in? So basically, it's like all of
Just so you know, the first thing
Well, I
that
have
came
to
to
be
mind
able
was
to
a fish.
Grab him.
So that's not gonna help you. So don't do
You
that.
you got those like big those
And
those
she doesn't
rabbit
Wait, I
talons.
have a
The
question.
yeah.
Does she have to take form of something that is on Earth? Or
No.
Can she take
No,
form of
She's got lots
Her
of forms.
main thing is like alien creatures. Though.
Got it. So you could take form of like a giant.
You could like jump down into the water and like ambush him from the side, like swim along and then jump out and grab him.
Baby
So, like,
shark
or you
doo-doo.
or you could fly. You could you could like fly at him and grab him, or just leap it, whatever. And I'm assuming you're going after him too.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
I
Neo,
got a
and you guys
plan
basically
to-
look at each other and like, yeah.
I have a plan to get him.
No, this isn't
I have
happening.
a plan to get him distracted. Can I do something to get him like distracted, and you do something to get him
in the water.
in the water?
I found this earlier today. And
Kind of terrifying.
and then like I thought, if you were going to go underwater, having that come up out of the water would be pretty awesome. Like,
Get in the position.
Well, would he be close enough to the water for me to just grab him and like pull him
if you
in?
kind of leap out and grab him, she's going to get there first because you're kind of like, but you kind of a 1-2 punch kind of a thing. Are you going for it?
Yeah.
All right,
I want to
so-
get him down, and then she needs to get him in the water.
Okay, so explain to me, like how are you getting close? Because he's a little bit further away. I'm not saying you can't get close. I'm just saying I want to know what this looks like.
Okay.
Ghostbuster roll? Okay.
Okay, so you know that thing, so, Dad, you know what this is. When, like, in DU, when people, like, turn on, like, the acrobatic ability, and, like, their running is, like...
The big bounding thing? Yeah.
So like space
Basically
running,
that.
but not in slow motion.
DCUO is what you're talking about.
And then basically
DCUO.
what I want to do is kind of figure out some way to get behind him. So he's facing that way, I'm facing this way. And like grab his head and break
Flip
him.
him.
So like flip him into
Do the
the ground.
somersault we taught you.
No, that's not happening.
Okay, so are you trying to... Let me think about this for a second.
You're just like, you're trying to watch your look.
I can't see what's happening.
You have to like open your mouth so that your mouth gets lower so you can see like.
Trying to like see.
Okay, it feels like another directly engaged to me.
Yeah,
That's it?
that's basically.
Okay, what's your danger at?
My danger is at a 0. So straight
Really?
up roll. Yeah, I was at a -1 before and I shifted it up at the
Mine's
Well,
at -1.
Oh, let's get dangerous and see how this goes. So you're dodging in there. He's got, he's winding up with lightning and all this kind of stuff. Let's see where we go. Now you do get a +1 forward. So you get to add 1 for your +1 forward.
Wow.
You know the song? It's like
Yeah.
physical.
8.
8. All right. So directly engage a threat. When you directly engage a threat, roll danger. On a hit, trade blows. On a 7 to 9, pick 1.
Sorry.
You can resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, which would be over here.
Yeah.
Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I think I want to make an opportunity for my ally.
Okay, which means there's gonna be some.
It's gonna be some pain.
All right, a little bit of pain. All right, so you're approaching. You sense it all coming. The tingles, the moves, you're just, the dodge and weave thing. And one of the main things that Vigil's worked on you with is approaching somebody who's got a range advantage on you. How do you get close? And working that over. Nope. In fact,
You're dead.
we're just going to do a quick little flashback of working. You're like on a shooting range, okay? Except she's not, and she's got like a gun, but it's like a paintball gun. And it's over and over and over again with you starting down at the end. Okay, go. No, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. And the end of it, you're like covered in paint. And you're sitting there like another paintball. Dead again. We weren't even going. So and now we're doing this thing and it's live fire time. It's you have to think to yourself
Like
that
as soon as I know he's gonna hit me. There's just a voice in the back of my head. Sounds exactly like Vigil. You're dead.
and I love it. And so you keep. Maybe Vigil's really fast. Maybe you're faster than you have been. Maybe you're extra motivated because electricity and not paintballs. Maybe whatever it is. But he doesn't.
Because your friends out here like.
He doesn't get you until you get that roll past him and reach up and grab basically the chin thing here, like backwards, and grab the back of the head and go for that twist and that thing that would, dislocate somebody's neck on him. Who knows what it's going to do? And you feel something in there whine and pop like a servo, like a motor that's going too hard. And then he electrifies his chassis.
That's gonna hurt in the morning.
And you kind of flip him over, but as he's going over, he goes, "So will this," and you're like, "Gah!" So I'm gonna have you roll to take a powerful blow.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, wait, but how much? Because never mind.
These aren't fun.
Okay. So we're gonna have to roll it to take a powerful blow. Do you now because this one works a little bit backwards? Rolling high is bad. Rolling low is good because basically you're rolling for the bad guy. Do you want me to roll to take a powerful blows?
Yes,
Or do
because
you-
that way
you don't have.
you can keep the purity of the dice.
Do you want me to roll for the take a powerful blows? Since it's up to you. Well, I just remember. I remember Margie always complains about it feels weird to have to roll backwards. It's up to you.
No.
All right.
Do it.
I
Don't
will roll
touch
for
my
take a
dice.
powerful blow. So, do you have any conditions?
I do not have any.
All right, so I will roll and add nothing. That's a 9.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right, when you take a powerful blow, roll plus your conditions. On a 10 plus, choose one. We don't have to do that. On a 7 and 9, you need to choose one. You lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict your condition on them. Give ground, and your opposition gets an opportunity, or you struggle past the pain, mark 2 conditions.
I think I'm
You're-
gonna
I mean-
struggle past the pain of my
Good
two
idea. Good
conditions
idea. Because I've already
because you know, like
at this moment.
I feel like when that happens, you know, like
I mean, the only thing you could
Yeah.
really do in terms of lashing out at this point in time would be like, Ember, get off your ass and do something! You know, kind of a thing.
yeah.
And
you know, I have to learn to
because
control
Palacine's
my
underwater
mouth
right now.
because
Yeah, the second we looked at each other, I just ran and jumped in the water, and everyone's like,
And
"What is she doing?"
She was shifting into something when you went in, but she didn't see what.
first time I
It's gonna be
verbally
like a
lashed
firefly.
out.
It's amazing.
First time I verbally lashed out at Vigil was the last time I verbally lashed out at Vigil because I heard like sensed one step on the ground and
And
I
you're
felt
like,
a pain shoot
Yeah.
straight through my back and I'm like, I'm on the ground now.
Well, how did I get on the ground?
How did I get on the ground?
Why didn't I see that coming or feel that coming? All right, so you take 2 conditions. So the electricity courses through you. You flip them over. What is that? What's it hit you with?
Insecure and angry.
All right,
Okay.
mark insecure and angry. That's how damage works.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, there's no hit points. There's conditions. You can fill that bar completely up and you're fine. If you need to take a 6th condition, when you have all of the conditions taken, you're out for whatever that means out.
Okay.
And remember,
So
this is
little-
comic books. Even if people die, they're not out. But here's the thing.
Little
And this
boxes
is
of
I don't want. This is the meta level stuff. This is the author level stuff that you need to understand. In this game, death is not on the table.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of assumptions about how this team works. There's a few things, and I should probably mention that because there's a few things that they like, things that we should kind of know about.
Yeah.
You
Things
grew-
that you assume when you begin a team. Like,
yeah.
things
So,
you can't change.
You're all residents of Halcyon City, which means you've grown up, or you either grown up around the idea of superheroes, or you're just used to the idea of superheroes. But here's the thing with the team. You all chose to be here. You all want to be superheroes. You aren't killers. You're a fairly young team. You may have made some mistakes. You may have blown some stuff up. Some of your actions may have even led to deaths incidentally, but you aren't killers. You don't solve problems by killing those on the other side as if it were of no consequence. If you decide that you want to at least consider more drastic measures, you might grapple with the complexities of killing as a solution to a difficult problem, but it's going to be like a big deal, okay?
Okay, so our main thing is like, it's all in just defense.
Well, I mean, you might attack, but the assumption is
Like if we were to kill someone, it'd be in defense.
Yeah,
not
if you're-
really 'cause we
Yeah.
And
even
it'd
then,
be a big
and even
thing.
then, it would be like, oh crap, that killed him, you know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You aren't illegal or openly hunted yet. You might be. I mean, you're not. You may not
Oh yeah,
be.
that's important.
You might not be sanctioned by oversight. You might not have Aegis on your side. You're not an official club on the school, but you are a clique, you know. But you're not illegal. So you aren't illegal, but at the same time, you aren't beloved. You're not like star heroes of the city yet. Most people probably won't have even heard of you, because honestly, you've had like one fight, and that's a superhero fight in Halcyon City. Those things happen more often than like, fundraising parades.
Yeah.
I mean, they just happen all the time.
Literally on the news, if you hear a superhero fight, it's like listening to a commercial. On
It's like
TV.
there was a car crash on the interstate. Okay,
Yeah.
of course there was a car crash on the interstate. Okay, so you did not give them an opportunity, which is good because you created an opportunity for your other guy. You took your 2 conditions.
Wait, I have one more question. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am. Rather.
Wait, so, because now he put a little bit more focus and power into shocking
Are
her.
you back up yet?
No, not back up. But
Okay.
Does it release some of it? So
Yes.
like I'm sinking lower.
Yeah.
Like maybe
You're-
your butt's
It's
touching
starting to fade down to
Your
like
butt is finally on the ground.
after what
Oh,
feels
the
like
ground.
ages, you're finally able to take a breath. because you've been locked up too tight to breathe, like inhale for. I don't know if you've ever taken like
Also,
a shot in the solar
yeah.
plexus. It's not fun.
What's the not the audience, but what's
Do you want to
everyone on the dock?
This has happened so quickly that many of them haven't even really had time to react.
Okay,
So, and
she's going to get a brush.
I feel like right after, like, put him to the ground, like, I'm just like, I'm shaking a little, and I'm tingling, and I'm just like, not dead yet.
So you're starting to relax a little bit, and the crowd around you is starting to mobilize. You've got a couple of people who seem like it's like, oh man, we've got to. It's like, holy crap, is that Voltaic? Who's fighting him? Geez, man, we need to do something. And they're starting to kind of get things together.
Get people away.
No, like they're getting ready to do something, and Voltaic is kind of you flip him kind of over, and he just kind of goes with it and lands back on his feet, and you're kind of down on one knee and like one fist on the ground, kind of like the superhero like 3-point landing
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So like after Palacine goes, would I be back up then?
We're not exactly taking turns. It's kind of whatever
I know,
makes the
but
most
like
sense. But
after
yeah.
she like.
I'm not going to keep you out of the rest of the fight just because of the thing.
It's like, you're down for the rest of it. Don't talk. Don't say anything. You're done. That's not how it works here.
But a couple of the guys are starting to kind of move forward. One of them is like this blonde, like perpetually smiling dude that you think maybe is. Actually, you don't know who he is. You haven't been to the school before. Silhouette would know.
Do not fret, because I am here. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just got that
Yeah.
image.
No, but that's not. It's not him.
Who it is?
Yeah. This kid's like, God, we gotta do something, guys.
Oh wait, I
So-
really want to get up now though because I have a really good idea. Darn it.
Darn it.
All right. So like a couple of the kids are starting to move. Voltaic was looking down at Ember in front of him, kind of where he got flipped over, and you see his head kind of track up and goes, "I'm being it's like I have allowed you to distract me," and he spreads his fingers out, and it starts to, and the electrical
Back up.
charge comes off of each finger and like arcs to the ground, kind of between Silhouette and the rest of the crowd, and starts to crawl forward across the ground towards the crowd. Like this is where he's gonna light them all up. Palacine, what do you do?
Get him in the water.
I want to be the first one that you showed me.
The bursting out of the water and like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think
So
we need to get him down enough first
Guys.
before we can get him into the water.
The crowd is just like, baby shark, shark,
True though.
True though. Ooh, I need to think of what Jack's power is.
all right.
This is my new ship, by the way.
Your new
Quinn
ship.
and Jack. Yeah, that's happening.
Who?
No, sorry.
Quinn
I'm all
and Jack.
about Palacine and
Oh,
Mr.
Quinn and
Brick.
Jack. Yeah. All right.
Team Brick. Team Brick. What's your guys'
No.
ship name?
No.
Brick.
You know what that's a word for, right?
No.
Bad word.
Probably look it up
Oh,
before
okay.
you keep going. All right. Right, this guy. So Palacine bursts out of the water. You think it's Palacine. You hope it's Palacine, because otherwise there's another villain you got to deal with.
Yeah.
And just like,
That's what I.
Oh my god.
Well, actually, no, because technically
Yeah.
Quinn still teleports
That's
because if
awesome.
she was in human form but could still feel her 3 heartbeats, that means no matter what she changes into, still has 3 heartbeats.
Yeah.
no, she can shift into other stuff.
Oh,
Wouldn't
okay.
necessarily have to. Anyway,
I'm a little distracted.
you just burst up out as he's like lighting the thing up. You're like, now are you trying to? This is important. You're going to go after the guy. That's neither here nor there. Are you trying to take him, like, hurt him? Are you trying to keep him from hurting everybody else? What's your purpose? Because what you roll is different depending on those two things.
Well, I wanted to like get him in the water so that he's kind of like diffused.
But right now you're jumping on him on the opposite way of the water.
Yeah, you
So
kind
you
of,
have to get on him and then turn him around.
which might be your next thing or whatever. But I mean, what's your deal here? You want to keep him from finishing this electrical, because that's going to be kind of the next thing he does. You want to stop that, protect everybody, or do you want to like just? Are you just going for ripping his little robotic guts out? It uses different labels depending on what you do. So that's why I'm asking. And the moves are different.
Wait, are we allowed to call something out while she's making a decision? Can we have influence over her?
Theoretically, yeah, you're still kind of recovering and stuff.
I
like
don't
that.
mean me specifically, but one of us in any fight.
Yeah, you guys
at
can
a
always
time.
you can always be like, stop him from electrocuting all the kids, whatever.
And then
It's totally fine. Yeah, it's comic books, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure. But it's up to you. Ultimately, it's always going to be up to you.
Well, I kind of want to like just.
I mean, you can, if you want to be the action of grabbing and getting into him, assume that's going to happen in terms of what happens. But is it a question of, do I hurt him, or is it a question, do I stop him from hurting others? That's just the role. If you want to be landing on him and beating the crap out of him, that's going to happen unless you really jack up the role. But what the effect is different. The effect is much more likely to be, the effect is, do I want to hurt him or do I want to do it on particular people? Narratively, you want to land on this guy and beat the crap out of him. That's fine. Don't feel like you have to give that up to protect everybody.
Yeah, I think I want to hurt him.
All right.
Yeah.
It's all good. All right, so you're going to take your dice, and you're rolling, and you're going to add danger.
Oh no.
Wah, wah.
It's -1.
It's -1. Now, you do get a +1 forward because of combination of the fact that she had a +1, Silhouette had a +1 float out here for you guys to use, which you'll burn in this case to get to this thing. But, and because she created the opportunity, that's why you sort of get to grab it and all that kind of stuff. So, you're rolling just straight up.
Okay.
All
So
right?
it's +1 minus.
+1, -1, all kind of balances out. You got a straight up die roll. And and the dice at the table. That's a 6. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
it's still a 6.
yeah, straight up 6. Hey, it's not a 5. Could have been a 5.
That's true. That's true. It's
Okay.
but she's still
So
that
he's coming
vicious
up over the thing.
monster rat thingy.
Okay. So you can let it sit. Physically speaking, Ember's close, or not Ember, god dang it. Silhouette is still close enough to help. So, thank you. You're still close enough to help. You could spend team to give her a +1 on the roll.
I think we should spend.
Okay. Well, that's you spending the team.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So.
Wait, what's team?
So, team. Remember when we did that little thing of like, you're going to face an enemy, and do you trust the team, and who's the leader,
yeah.
and does the leader have influence over everybody? You guys get team. That's this little thing full of points, okay? And there's lots of maneuvers that you can do. Some of the things that you do, like a defend roll or something like that, will actually put more team into the pool. At the beginning of every game session, we add 1 point to the pool, into the team pool. Sometimes it resets to nothing, all that kind of stuff. What that means is if somebody is doing something and you want to help them, and there's team in the pool, and you can describe a way that you can help them, you don't need to roll or anything. You just spend a point of team and help them. Boom, done. If you can figure out a cool way that you help, it's all good. I think that's about all I have to say about it, really. That's what it is. There's no rolling for it or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure if you've done D&D, it's like, well, this guy's doing something, I want to help him. You got to roll or figure out if you got a skill or something. This isn't how it works in this thing. It's just, is there a team in the pool? If so, I help. Okay, and you can have multiple people help. I don't think there's a limit on how much team can be spent. Certainly, I haven't played that there's a limit on how much team can be spent. For you guys, functionally, the biggest you could do is if 2 of you are helping one other person, you get like a total limit. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, say, you 2 helping her. It could be if there's an NPC that's there and it makes sense. you could sort of, if you can figure out a good way that they would help, and if they're the kind of person who would help, you can spend a point of team for them. Okay? So she's got a 6. It's useful to help because a 6 moving to a 7 just edges you into
The hit.
a reasonably decent hit. Yeah. What do you say, Ember? Or Ember? God dang it! Why do I keep doing that? Silhouette.
Ember.
Silhouette. So she's coming up out of the water and roaring and stuff, but to be fair, a big burst of water comes his way. He's going to take notice.
Hey, spark, booming!
So he is absolutely, he's already pivoting with one of his hands and getting ready to light her up. What do you do?
Hey, sparkles!
And what? Like a spin kick to the back of the knees?
I
something?
want to hey,
You
you see this? You see that right there? That's that's a thing. She does that a lot. So it's here and then
the low.
right across the knee joints, just basically I want it to be right here and you just
Oh, so you're gonna
knock
swing,
him off balance.
spin kick him basically right in the back of the knees. And
Yeah.
try to take him off. All right, that gives you +1, gets you up to a 7. Okay. Now the good news is not a miss. The bad news is you don't get potential because the thing is 6s. This is one of the main ways that you get potential is by missing. When you fail, you get XP.
When you fail, you learn.
Failure is a good teacher. In this case, it's one of the main teachers in the whole game. So sometimes it's like, no, man, just let me fail. It's going to hurt, but I need the XP. I want to level up. I got a ding.
I got one.
all right.
One left, man.
So instead, we push up to a 7. So you get 1 pick off of, go ahead and close that up and look at the front top left. You get to choose one of those things that resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, their ability to stand, their sight. You could rip the eyeball thing out of his front of his
Ooh,
thing.
that'd be nice.
Create an opportunity for your allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. I mean, it could count as a surprise. He might not have been expecting a literal sea saber-toothed tiger lion to jump out of the water.
Whatever the frick that
It
is.
looks like a rat head.
With
It
saber-tooth.
literally looks.
It's kind of a sea lion
That's
mixed with
something
an
from
otter
Raven.
mixed with a
It
saber-toothed
has
tiger.
a scorpion tail with fish scales,
I honestly don't
otter,
even know.
Kind of terrifying,
eagle
but I absolutely
feet
love it.
that
Right?
are
That is
like,
something you would turn into 100%.
that is
Like,
something. That is a
It's
creature.
something from my home planet. We keep them as pets or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks kind
I have one at home.
friendly.
His name is
That's
Fluffy.
funny.
I have one at home. His name is Fluffy.
There's no. It's like they're a scaled creature. Yeah, we still call him Fluffy. It's funny.
Skilled creature.
So what option, Palacine, do you think you're going for there?
I think I want to do the take something from them.
What just happened?
I brought in
Left it water.
There's another one of him. This is another picture I found of it swimming.
Yes, that's so. I want one.
All right.
I want to burn it.
All right. So you want to take something from him. What do you want to take from him? Are you going for the eyes, Boo?
Go for the eyes, boo.
Could I take his electricity, or is that too powerful?
Well,
Well, what if she can take off the electricity coming from
The aiming.
a certain body part?
What about the aiming? Instead of the
you
entire.
could know. I mean, he's got the way he looks there. He looks like he's got a couple of different pads on him where there's electrical projectors built into his body, like legs, chest, hands.
And the eyes.
Yeah, I guess I could rip his eyes off.
Or
With
eye.
your mouth just
Just with the two things
go
go
straight
stab
through his
it
eyes.
and pull out, and then I'm like, I just walk around with this eye. Got the giant teeth.
You're the
That's what
giant
you're gonna
thing.
do after the fight. You're gonna be like, I'm keeping
The
this
tiny little circuits are just stuck through, and you're just like, how do I look?
Disturbing. Okay. So you're going to take away his vision. You're also going to, sort of take a condition from him. Since you didn't resist or avoid their blows, and since you're helping, you get to share in the joy that she's about to deal with.
Okay, guys, I'm up now, so
Conditions.
be cool.
All right.
feel like
You're
So
not helpful.
Excuse me.
massive rolling. Now we've seen this in like the Thor movies and stuff like that, where he does the big electrical burst, and it's like a dome that goes out. Okay,
Great.
that's kind of what he's doing. All right. So what I'm gonna have you do
That's a big
is
movie.
I'm gonna have you. We'll start with you. Take a powerful blow as he bursts electricity out through basically
Fluffy
everybody,
starts
and it's going to
whimpering.
everybody else too. What's that?
Fluffy starts whimpering.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have any conditions right now?
No.
Okay. So do you want me to do the take a powerful blow, or do you want to do it? Low is good. That's the deal. On take a powerful blow.
Then I feel like I should do it, but I'm afraid.
No, you want to do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
He's cursed.
Action.
You're the GM. You're cursed.
All right. So
Afraid,
you go.
like, the
So you
only
roll.
time I need is
So take a
small
powerful blow. You're
rolled a
essentially kind of
9.
rolling for the bad guy. So roll and see what happens with
You
the
want
take
to
a
go
powerful
low on this.
8.
8. All right. So on take a powerful
Plus
blow,
9.
you choose one. Lash out verbally, provoking a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition, which, whatever. You give ground and your opposition gets an opportunity.
We really don't need that.
Or you struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions.
Please don't give ground.
I'm
the
going to
only
do the
thing I
mark
heard
2
for.
conditions.
Okay, so electricity, Corey, you're landing on this thing, and he's like, and the big burst goes off, and it just courses through you. What's your conditions that you take?
I'm afraid.
Fire sensing girl over here, you feel this burst of electricity start to happen as you're starting to get get back onto your hands and knees. We're going to get to you in just a second.
Okay.
You feel afraid and
And guilty that
you didn't like
Didn't.
stop this
Yeah.
somehow. It's the same kind of thing as like, it's Thor and Thanos. You should have gone for the head. Like, too soon?
That hurts us. Oh, okay. We're all still very emotionally hurt by it.
Somebody, okay. So today the trailer for the new movie dropped.
Yeah, I watched it.
I haven't seen it.
I want to like lay down and get my popcorn ready and pretend I'm already in the movie.
Somebody told me that it was out, and I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's basically just Tony Stark, like with a big push broom, like sweeping up piles of ash." And I'm like, "Dude, too soon, okay? Too soon."
It's like I lost my only
2030.
figure.
2030. Peter Parker, though.
Okay. You take a powerful blow. So what? I told you you're helping out. So you ride the tiger just like everybody else. In this case, you roll and add 2 conditions. You already have
Freaky
conditions. So
alien tiger.
you're trying to
thing.
roll low, and you already have conditions. So you add your conditions to the roll.
Oh, I love that. What is that?
You sure you don't want me to roll?
Good, thanks.
Okay. I get to roll 1 time for the entire campaign. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so take a powerful blow.
I can't see that, right?
You don't need to see to feel this. On a 10 plus, choose one. You must remove yourself from the situation. Flee, pass out, etc.
Dead again.
You lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way. Okay. Or you take 2 options from the 7 to 9 list.
No, I think.
Or, there's actually another...
I have a really good idea for losing control of your powers in a terrible way.
Can I have the purple book over there, please? I just want to look something up real quick. Hold on before you say. Because in this book, they added a extra move. They added an extra option for the take a powerful blow thing.
I have one question actually.
Yes.
The fact that my friends are struggling, does that affect me in
Condition.
not quite a condition, but in
Empowering.
emotional way? Like, do I get angry or something?
You don't have to. You can.
Okay.
You don't generally have to do that.
You might not want to do that because we have enough 4 conditions,
Conditions
going
going
around right
on.
now.
But yeah, I mean, you can always. Here's the thing. You can always be angry.
I mean, if you want
You don't
to.
have to
But
necessarily have the condition.
If you want
There are moves that you can take as when you get advances. There's a couple moves you can take that are actually kind of cool for, and I'll tell you about one of them in a second. But there's some moves where you can kind of say, this happens, and I just give myself angry. And that's kind of useful for someone who feeds off of. It's actually a bold move, but you can take moves from other playbooks. And then, so I'll read that to you in just a second. So one of your options here is instead of either one of those, and I think I'm going to give this to you guys as an option, just in general. You're seriously injured. Take -1 ongoing until you receive medical attention. So you just get -1 on all your rolls until you receive medical attention. So that's an additional, like, straight up physical damage.
I feel like we're struggling with rolls though. So wait, can you read off all of the?
So the options that she has are she's not
She's
well, she doesn't have the 7. Yeah, okay. So you can either go, you flee, pass out. In this case, pass out. The electricity just basically knocks you cold. You lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way.
I was actually about to make something so horrible out of that.
It's easy to imagine you doing that. It's weirder for like Super Senses Girl.
Because I have an idea for that.
But it could have a horrible effect on you personally.
Just impossible that he feels I have an idea for that.
Like a berserk kind of a thing?
No. Something a little more
rips off the
close
band.
to the
I
heart.
can't see. It's a miracle.
Or you take 2 options from the 7 and 9 list, so you could like take 2 more conditions and give ground.
Or I could just legitimately pass out.
Yep.
Just
there's
be
nothing wrong with
like,
that.
I'm done.
I mean,
Girl, but
spoilers.
you're a leader, remember? In this
Yeah, but
battle.
there's a lot of, this is an Indiana Jones kind of thing. Indiana Jones is a hero, but he gets beat up a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's 2 things that I could do. Can I explain like what both things would look like?
I mean, sure, if you want to.
Okay, so what I would do for getting knocked out is just like clean knocked off my feet, just literally just thrown completely unconscious, just hits the ground. I'm just out.
You just got hit with a crowd-killing level of electricity. Going
Yeah.
unconscious is a legit response.
Yeah.
Or, okay, so what I think of losing powers in a terrible way with me, so I'm still knocked off my feet, but like instincts kind of like, I kind of like do like a half turn to get back on my feet, and I'm in the air, so I don't know where I'm landing, and I land directly on the boardwalk with people, and the force of me going back and like sliding, I like, just for kicks, like knock like, I don't know, like jack like completely off the boardwalk.
That's not helping
I
the
think
relationship.
I might just go unconscious.
I think going unconscious.
I think that's
if
a
I
good
was,
idea.
it's gotta be.
Losing your powers would kind of be like in the Spider-Man movie when he, for a second, turns on the instant kill mode in his suit,
Yes,
right?
that's a
Okay.
good example.
Okay.
For like going to actually, it's always easy. It's always easy to imagine it with Hulk.
Yeah.
It's easy to imagine with Scarlet Witch. Therefore, it's easy to imagine with you. You might go berserk. You might do some sort of
I just
pheromone.
start changing shapes.
Well, you might do some sort of like pheromone release that causes a bunch of things around you to start shapeshifting, which would be weird. Your thing would probably be
People
that you
just
wouldn't
look
be able,
down.
like you'd overload, you wouldn't be able to shut your senses off, and I would be telling you secrets that you don't want to know about a bunch of people around you for the next day or 2.
Oof, oof, oof.
Jack.
Yeah, horrible things that you don't want to know.
Jack cheated on his last boyfriend. Oh my god.
So unconscious.
Oh wait, boyfriend. I meant girlfriend.
So-
girlfriend.
So going unconscious then sounds better.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that sounds better.
All right,
Yeah.
so you pass out. Okay, now here's the thing, Ember.
Yes.
Here's the thing. This wave of electricity is coming. You've got seconds. It's going to hit everybody. Imagine a massive crowd of supers and, more to the point, not supers getting hit with this stuff. What do you do?
Silhouette just got knocked out.
Well, yeah.
She done.
So I have my moat, right?
Yep, read
But I
mode.
need-
Read mode to me.
But don't I need my burn or
Yeah,
something?
the burn's
Yeah.
still up though. You've
Oh,
got it.
right. Okay, spend 1 burn to create a barrier that will hold back threats as long as you keep your attention on it. The GM may call for you to spend another burn if the barrier is threatened by particularly powerful enemies.
Shouldn't come up. So you want to throw up like a
Does she
wall
have
of.
3 or 2?
She got 3 burn.
Okay.
So you want to throw up like a wall of fire in front of this and
The full
absorb
wall
the
of
electrical energy kind of thing.
It'll absorb it with like kind of sparks coming out. It'll throw me
Energy
back.
is energy, yeah.
But I will still be able to like focused.
So you're like
You
focused,
can't-
like getting,
I'm
You
like
can't
skidding
create-
back, kind of. Like,
You can't create or delete energy.
So I'm
but
like.
energy
I'm
can
like,
work against energy.
Oh yeah.
But I'm kind of. So
Besides,
I'm like
this
kind of
is-
skidding back with
This
it.
is
but I'm like,
this is comic, so energy can stop energy. You know,
You
That's-
can create energy in this sense. Breaking physics.
you're no,
like we
it's
do
it's
in
a
comics.
it's just like if two people shoot each other, if the bullets happen to hit, they'll destroy each other, but neither of them will hit the target.
Yeah.
So
That'd be really cool, actually.
So like
Exactly.
I'm like skidding back kind of into the crowd, but I'm still focusing onto the bear.
not with modern guns, but the old Black Powder ones where the
Mm.
balls were really big and flat and big like that. There was actually
Ember and Hamilton just like.
there was
I
like,
wonder if that happened during a duel. That would
yeah,
be
it's
really
a
cool.
yeah. There was it wasn't them, but anyway. Okay, so
Obviously.
you don't need to roll for this; it just goes up. So the wave of electricity is coming, and you step forward and just, and you kind of get ground back on the dock.
I'm a freak now, huh? That's
What are
always
you
so
calling
evident.
a freak?
And
Show off. I'll show
so
you.
you're kind of
Would
shaken.
you like to step
You
forward?
kind of jerk the thing and like go back and kind of go out. You stop the thing, and when the fire fades, it's weirdly quiet. Like there's a little bit of ash coming down.
Oh no.
Voltaic's not moving. His lights have gone out.
Oh no. This
And
is
we're really-
This
not
is either
good.
good or really bad.
It's in this case, it's good. That was the fight.
Okay.
That was the fight.
Yeah, I'm
You
out.
hear like sirens coming and stuff like that, and you hear the because the ferry is just now like pulling up to
Somebody
the dock.
carry me there, please. You
Okay,
carry me,
we're gonna
please.
pause. What time is it? We're gonna pause.
It's only 19.
I know.
19.
Yep, fine. We're gonna pause and we're gonna take a quick break, bathroom break, grab something to drink,
I
snacks.
don't have to go to the bathroom for the next 24 hours.
We're not gonna play that long, and we're gonna do all that stuff, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna have some action.
I
I need
think you
change
pressed
your
it
buttons.
twice.
What's that?
I think you pressed it twice.
I did. I haven't shut it off. It's all good. All right. So we're just gonna pause here for a bit.
We should put a mask.
Face mask.
Yes.
I'm gonna smear it everywhere. I know.
I'm
I
pretty sure it's like an actual.
Like you just lay it on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let's go find out.
Wait. Oh, darn! I don't want to get up. I just got so comfortable.
He's got so comfortable. All right. We'll be back in a little bit.
I'm setting a timer for 10 to 20 minutes.
All right. Let's see.
You haven't seen my face.
Interesting.
I can't laugh. Set a timer for 20 minutes.
Come on.
You have no idea.
Come on.
Here's this falling off. Nobody's face is shaped like this. Your face is so round.
Nobody's face.
All right.
It's too hard to take us seriously. I can't do
All right. It's fine. Just okay. So,
You still look at me. Poor cat.
that's weird. It's picking up the mic. Why was it picking up the mic?
That's strange. Mm, 55 seconds.
She's
Maybe
only
take
doing
off
10
and wash it in the
minutes.
kitchen sink. She's only doing 10 minutes because
I
she's.
don't know why it's picking up the mic. It shouldn't be.
Well, I react to things.
All right. In any case.
Medical things. I react to medical things, okay?
That's
I'm allergic
Not
to
really.
Yes.
What's that?
That's impressive. You react
All right.
to medical things.
All right. So the action ended with the.
I'm listening.
The action ended. The scene ended with you guys with him like sort of stopping. You guys realizing there's paper towels off to your right by the sink. And we're gonna pick up, I think, in like the school nurses station, like infirmary kind of thing, which most schools have. Most schools have a little nurses station. The nurses station at Phoenix Academy looks like the med bay on the Shield helicarrier. Like it is because I mean it's the superheroes, man. They got so there's like weird little like glowing med beds to sit in that sort of kind of thing.
That's a purple. That's you.
So silhouette, you took a couple conditions too, right?
Nope.
Oh,
He's the only
no, that's
one
right, because you were just
condition
you had the paralyzed thing with the muscles. So your muscles kind of
My
ache,
face
like
feels bad.
hot, or
It's because you missed part of it.
it's fine.
Still on your nose
You
and
can,
stuff.
you can. Anyway, all right. So, Quinn, you kind of come to on the bed, looking up. Is this the first time you've ever woken up? You kind of ever woken up in the infirmary, or no?
Oh no.
No.
The first big fight that I had with Vigil, we went and
Yeah, but that would have been like a first aid station or something that Vigil controlled. It wouldn't have been at the school infirmary.
oh no, this is the first time I've woken up yet.
Yeah, the school. Okay. So you guys are in like basically three like on three cots, like in a row in the because your muscle and honestly it hurts. Your muscles are sore, tense, pulled in a couple of
Do you
places.
know what the Iron Man is? No, the Iron Man is like it's this huge thing. One of my swim coaches did it. It took him 12 hours.
Oh, that! Yeah.
It's like 12 miles of running,
It's a
2
crazy
miles of
triathlon.
swimming. Yeah, it's crazy. He has a tattoo of it. Anyway.
I don't know what that has to do with anything except for the fact that you probably hurt afterwards.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean that's what I was just thinking of.
Okay. So I want to draw you guys' attention because you guys are kind of just sort of here in the bay, kind of together. It's relatively quiet for a
We're
little.
missing our first day of school.
Not really. I mean, it could be before the first bell.
Oh,
You weren't necessarily unconscious. Still was. I mean, it's probably. Yeah. So I want to draw you guys' attention to some spaces on your sheet that we haven't had really a chance to look at. So if you flip, you want the other side. You want your other side. Everybody, so you were on the right side. So take a look at team moves. Each of you has 2 team moves, and none of them are the same exactly. But there's always 2, and each one of them they do a certain thing. One of them is if you're sort of celebrating a victory, like after the fact, kind of like touching base with your teammates after a fight that you felt like went well, there's a move there for that. Sort of a thing that you can aim towards in the fiction, like in the role play and stuff like that. And then there's a vulnerability move, which is, like I kind of open up a thing. And each of them have an effect, a beneficial, it could go for you or against you, depending on what everybody else does. You guys spent the team point, right? So we're going to take that.
we get to choose which one we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's kind of we role play it first. This is kind of how the game always works. I mean, you never really come up to me saying, "I want to directly engage this guy." No, you go. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to smack him right in the face. And it's, okay, that sounds like a directly engage. Is that what you're going for? And then yeah.
Okay.
If you're going, no, I don't want to. I don't want to directly engage the guy. I'm trying to get him to. I'm trying to get him to back down and leave the room. So I'm going to get right in his face. Well, that's a provoke. That's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if you want to do a thing, do it, and then we'll figure out from there where you go.
Okay.
So you guys are either just kind of recovering from. I mean, all of you guys got electrocuted to some degree or another. I mean,
If you're gonna ask who's feeling,
are
it
you
the
two?
most-
Are you?
I
Are you two already talking when Syl finally regains consciousness?
no. I'm kind of just sitting in silence.
Are you? So you're kind of
Because-
sitting on the edge of the bed, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because I'm still slightly scared of my own self. Actually not slightly. I'm still pretty scared of my own self.
Yeah. So you're getting like flashes of that big wall of fire and how badly that could have gone awry if you'd done it wrong. Like I could have done it a couple feet sooner and like fried a bunch of people.
300 people on a boardwalk, over 200 casualties, like all
Yeah.
the statistics of it.
Yeah. What about you? Are you laying down? Are you pacing around? Are
I'm
you
wandering around investigating.
kind of poking at the different tech and stuff? Because you hadn't really been.
You walk up to the nurse and you're
The
just
nurse keeps yelling at me because I'm touching things I'm not supposed to touch.
Right, stop touching. No, that's it. But the tech is so interesting.
What planet is this from?
It's wonderfully high tech in an
called
incredibly
Earth,
primitive sort of way.
But my planet created this around 5,000 years ago.
Why don't you simply use something that automatically insinuates itself into the lung cavities? And you can't do that, right? That'll kill them. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay, so you're kind of wandering around, that kind of thing.
Oh, right.
And so
Okay,
Syl's kind of out still.
The moment she wakes up.
Ember has kind of like that 1,000-yard stare, kind of looking out into nowhere. What do you do? Are you just mostly paying attention to the stuff? Do you say anything
I
to
imagine she
Ember?
like walks up to me and it's like, oh wait, that wouldn't work anyway.
Do you say anything to Ember? Do you do anything?
Well, I walk over to her and I wanna talk to her because I'm wondering what
Like
she's
me?
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ember's kind of out still. Or Ember, god dang it, Syl still. I don't know why I'm doing that. Because Ember's a redhead and you're
You're
actually a
bad.
redhead, so it's freaking me out. I don't know.
You're bad. That's the reason why.
Syl is unconscious. Ember has kind of got the 1,000-yard stare, kind of like. And what do you do?
I want to go over to her to see what she's thinking.
What do you do? What do you say?
What's up?
What's up, fellow Earth being?
I'm like, just
That's how
don't-
they talk, right?
I'm like, just don't talk like that right now.
I can't do
I like that.
you.
What's up? That's how you talk, right?
Just like,
That is
How-
that Earth
I'm
slang though.
I'm like, okay, just talk like you normally would on your planet for now until we can figure out how to get you. to
She
talk.
establishes a telepathic link.
And I'm like, no, not like that, not like that. Okay, so what you would think, just translate that into words.
She actually starts giggling like, you humans, so primitive.
Just.
So what are you? If she now, so the question, what she says is, whatever you're thinking, translate it into words. Do you do that? And if so, what are you thinking, and then what do you say? Because I want her going around the high school for the next 2 weeks saying whatever the hell pops
Oh
in
no!
her head.
What have I started?
But how do you? I mean, do you do that? And if so, what do you start off with?
And I'm thinking, like, there's something wrong with this girl.
Like with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
So,
Are you okay?
well, I guess just like, you seem upset. Do you need someone to talk to?
Do you? Well, what would you say? Talk. It wouldn't be talk to if you're an alien.
Do you need someone to telepathically console people.
Do you
Or,
need
like,
someone,
someone-
to help you
Do you
translate
need-
your thoughts into words?
No, do you need someone to take your fake emotions and make them better, or something like that?
Do you need someone to help you
What would it be? Do you
make
need
words?
Do you need a mind meld partner?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you need a mind meld partner? It's an ancient tradition we do.
So
Yeah.
so are you upset? Do you require a mind meld partner?
I just no, not like that.
Then
Already
like
reaching
what?
for the temples.
We can talk. That's something.
What are you thinking about?
Um,
Translate your thoughts into words.
That's never gonna leave.
No. Maybe I'll get you a sweatshirt that
Oh
says
my God.
translate your thoughts into words. Maybe
Okay.
I'll get you that.
Okay, wait. So then, well, I mean, we can talk. I don't need anyone in my head right now, but we can certainly talk.
What are you doing? Throwing the timer?
Timer.
I'm taking mine off in like a minute. That will
We have
15.
10 seconds left, so.
I'll just
All
take
right.
mine off.
And I'm like, well, I mean, I've just been thinking about all the ways it could have gone wrong.
Thinking about all the ways it could have gone wrong.
Do you think that they're right?
Yep, you do that. Just talk a little louder so that we can hear you.
Let's wait. We'll get
Actually, I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't like, I didn't really like it. I think that mine was the perfect middle ground. I'm gonna be smelling that for a week.
Okay.
Well, mine was the strongest.
I don't have a good picture for a high-tech infirmary right now.
So I'm just kind of like, you know, just been thinking about all the ways it could have gone wrong and how many people I could have hurt. And I really don't think I should be the person to
So what was that? You're thinking about all the people you could have hurt and how it could have gotten wrong.
and then can I bring this into one of our team?
Which one are you looking at? Yeah, I mean, you can kind of like.
But I kind of need Silhouette to wake up at this moment, though.
You can ask her.
Okay.
Yeah, it works for
Like-
anywhere.
Oh, okay.
So it could be, I guess, you know, it's like
You think I did good?
did the
Like,
so it'd be like,
yeah.
did what I do scare you? You know, kind of a question, I guess, or something like that.
Okay, so like, I mean, like it could have hurt so many people. Do you think I'm dangerous? Like, are you scared of me?
No, because if you think about it, it didn't go wrong,
But
and you saved the day.
But it could have. I could have hurt so many people. I could have hurt you guys. I could have hurt myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
And, like,
yeah, that could have happened, but it didn't.
okay.
Since you got to Earth, how have you been? You got your ship hanging in like a cocoon state underneath like a bridge somewhere.
So that
How
B
are you
plus
learning
P,
ab- how are
that's
you-
etched under the bridge?
How are you learning about Earth?
Watching my friends.
Watching your
Them.
friends? Are you getting like local television broadcasts and watching stuff, or listening to the
Not
radio
really.
or news, or
I don't really use the technology here that
Okay.
much. I mostly just walk around like what I was doing in the nursery.
I just
Right,
imagine
okay.
I just
So you kind of wander the
Investigate.
streets and try to look like a regular person. And
I just imagine Palacine coming across like a small hero fight, and then just plopping herself down on a street corner, just like crossed legs like this, and just like, no, carry on.
but also watching like regular people.
Yeah.
So, what have you seen? And you're wandering around the city. Have you ever seen an upset person?
well, yes,
Have you seen how humans deal with upset people?
kind of. Like they try to comfort them.
But how? Like, what do they do? What have you seen? Like, have you seen a kid crying because he like skinned a knee or fell down or dropped his
Yeah.
ice cream or
Their
something like
mommies kiss their knee or like give them a
Kisses
hug
my brain.
and
feels
just tell
better.
them everything. will be
Brain
okay.
kiss, like telepathic, like.
that? Does that seem like the kind of thing that you would do here to like make her feel better?
Sure.
Where does it hurt, sweetie?
So you'd like come up and what? Like give her a kiss on the forehead, pat her on the head.
Do you need me to kiss it better? No, I'm like leaning in.
I'm like, no, it's
No, please.
it's not that kind of pain. It's more like internal pain. It's
Hugging. She requires hugging.
it's
The squeezing
emotional.
and the squeezing with the arm.
I imagine she just goes like.
You constrict them with your upper limbs.
Like, to die. Oh my god. Breathe air. I need oxygen.
Turns into like a boa constrictor.
You're suddenly hugging her?
Yeah.
She's super strong. She's actually legitimately like
Yeah.
actually right on
muscles.
too strong. Too strong.
Well, I listen to microphone.
Yeah. I mean, psychically speaking, she's a little upset. But clearly she doesn't think you're dangerous.
Yeah.
Because hugging. Unless she's trying to break your ribcage.
Muscles.
So what was your move? What was your team move? That
That
victory
if
thing.
they say no, I take one forward, mark a potential.
Okay, so since she says, no, I'm not scared of you, you get to mark potential, and you just get +1 forward. That means the next time you have to roll dice, you just
I
get a
+1.
+1.
Okay.
So just write down +1 forward down here, down below. You just have a +1 forward floating around. Now you have one for your team move. Is it your team? Let me look at it real quick. I think it's your team move. When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, take influence over them if you show them meaningful affection, physical or emotional. They get to decide if it's meaningful. Was that meaningful? A meaningful show of emotion?
It was actually because I've never really had anyone to console me.
Your
Besides-
mom
here
is
for
afraid to hug.
Besides
Is
no,
your-
because my mom doesn't
Your
know.
mom doesn't know.
Besides my brother, but he's not. Because my mom's never around.
Right.
No, like besides my brother, and he suspects something, but he's not been scared. He
So-
doesn't know what's going on.
So all that happens is you take influence over her. Now you already have influence over her. So something happens if you take influence over somebody that you already have influence over. You get to shift their labels. If you have influence over a teammate and you would gain influence over them again, immediately shift one of their labels up and one of their labels down, your choice. So kind of look at what the labels are there, like danger, freak, savior, superior, mundane. And based on how you see them or what you say to them, like while you're comforting them and that sort of thing, or like after you release the hug and you
Mundane of
like,
something else.
well, it doesn't have to be bad. It could be anything. But I think you're really powerful, but you're a very nice person. But I think you're really powerful, but you're not dangerous. That's freak up, danger down.
Well, I think, because earlier when the kids were calling her a freak,
Yeah.
she didn't like it, so I think freak down, because I don't really see her as that.
I don't think you're a freak. I just think you're really powerful. Or
Yeah.
You're
Like,
strong.
Freak up,
Superior?
or freak down, danger up.
Ooh, superior? Or like savior up?
savior up would be
Oh,
good
yeah.
because she protected you. I just think you're powerful and you saved everybody. And you said that a couple times. You said so. Take your freak.
Oh, you didn't.
Where's your freak at right now?
It is at +2.
Okay, so
Does that danger at +2 stay?
yeah, that doesn't change. So she's not moving your danger. She's gonna move your circle +1 on your freak, and circle +1 on your savior. So savior went up, freak went up. And actually, do me a favor and just circle the other, like the ones that are just sitting in the white, just so we know. Not that one's not that white anymore, but the bottom two.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, the ones that
you're
are
right.
still where they are, like just circle them so we know. So you have influence. This is what influence means: is that when you think about this like it is in school. If you've got people who what they say matters to you, when they say something like, man, you're so cool, but I don't get you, and I think you just confuse a bunch of people. Then you hear that, and it legitimately changes the way you almost see yourself. Enough people tell you you're a certain way, you start to see yourself that way. That's kind of that. So that's that move. And you guys are, because you're like, okay, yeah, my muscles were sore. Now they're a little bit more sore, but thanks, that was nice. And you hear Syl kind of groan, like,
God, I still hate that every time.
And then
nice.
And so I'm like, oh my god, so wait, you're awake.
Am I ever really awake? Because I don't think I want to be awake. No, definitely don't want to be awake.
Ow.
Well, but you're alive, and
Am I?
nobody but us really got hurt, so that's something to tell, right?
Yeah.
Take a look at
Nobody
your
but us.
triumphant celebration, by the way. Don't have to read it out loud, but just think about it because it might be an interesting way for the conversation to go.
I think I've had this worse.
That was bad. And I'm just kind of talking to myself like, if Vigil showed up, she would have been so disappointed. She probably would have done it in under 5 seconds.
Yeah, well, but you're not her. You're you, and you're still working on it.
I totally am hurt.
I thought
No,
she
no,
said
no, I
more
said her.
Oh, you're not her. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not.
Palacine, you say anything there?
Or did you go back to poking the nurse or something?
I still
This is a
I
cheat.
still didn't get everybody together. I didn't. You guys got hurt and I passed out.
Well, it was our first real fight where there was enough people where there was a danger. Yeah, we had that fight that brought us together, but nobody was around, and you had instructions. This was totally unplanned.
Yeah, but I was supposed to be a leader and I just lost it.
You were a leader. I wouldn't know what to do.
I'm still just trying to figure out how human emotions work. So
And do you think
You know what?
This leader
You know what?
prospect.
Are you kind of sort of psychically just reading their surface emotions and kind of seeing what they're going? Pick one of them. Who are you most trying to kind of zero in on right now?
well, right now silhouette.
Okay. Take a look at the move. I'm going to have you roll this here. Pierce the mask.
Oh God.
No, it's okay. It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's just this move can get annoying.
Well, it may not even come up necessarily in this because, actually, that's not exactly what I want you to do. What are you trying to sense? What are you trying to understand?
Well, I don't really understand. Well, for both of them, really, I don't really understand why they think it went badly because I see we fought the bad guy and we won. What's wrong with it?
Where do they see the failure?
Yeah, why is this?
Right, because
what went wrong.
Yeah, because like your planet didn't fight, and now the bad guys are in charge of everything. So you trying to figure it out, or are you saying something like that? Because are you trying to figure it out like quietly, or are you saying?
I'm more just trying to figure it out.
So
Where did it go? Where's the veil? Where's the? When did we?
So I'm going to have you actually unleash your powers, because one of the things you can do with unleash your powers, you take a look at that move there. When you unleash your powers to overcome an obstacle, reshape your environment, or extend your senses, and in this case, what you're doing is extending your telepathic senses. You roll and kind of try to get a sense of what's going on with these two. Okay? So you roll and you add, what's your freak? What's your freakity-deek?
+1.
+1. What is your really high? Oh, superior. Okay, so... Oh, I see what happened there. Okay, cool. So go ahead and roll, and I'm going to have you add your freak. While this is while that's happening, actually go ahead and roll, and then we'll do it while that's happening. Roll and add 1. Ooh, a 10. Very nice. All right.
Switch dice.
Switch dice on y'all. Did you notice?
Not trusting the pink elephants anymore. All right.
Did you touch them?
I didn't touch them.
You gave them to me.
I licked them a little bit. I just licked them. My tongue doesn't count as touching, does it? Kidding. It is really. All right. So you were talking about it could have been better, it could have been this, could have been that. You were saying.
Like
I wasn't saying it could have been better. I'm basically saying I could have been better.
Okay.
I should
What
have
was
done
your
so much better.
what's your? Because I feel like you're angling at one of your team moves, but what?
Yeah.
What is the move?
When you share a triumphant celebration with someone, ask them if you've been a good leader or an effective teammate. If they say yes, your mentor loses influence over you and you mark potential. She said yes.
Yeah.
She said that I was a good leader. She said I wouldn't have known what to do.
I'm also saying
English is hard.
I'm also
Especially
saying
for me.
There's you can't go into a battle and expect to be amazing your first time, but you were amazing for who you are at this moment.
That's awesome, because that could either be taken really, really well, or she could take it really poorly and feel terrible. It's
You're not supposed to be good.
You're not supposed. Yeah, you see how that could go either way, and there's a thing coming. We're going to have you do that in just a second. So you over there, it says take influence. Your mentor loses influence.
Yes, your mentor loses influence over you, and you mark potential.
Mark potential. Very nice. Well done. You rolled a 10, and you want to understand why they're not treating this like unmitigated super duper victory, because the bad guy's down. The civilians are unhurt. The non-civilians that didn't fight aren't hurt. Nobody's hurt except for you guys, and you'll be better because you'll heal fast. So what's the problem?
We won, so where did
And you have a 10, so unleash your powers. It works. If you're only at a 7 to 9, it may be unstable, or you might take a condition from this, but that doesn't happen. You got a good read on this, and you're getting a good understanding. In a sentence, what is the thing that makes you not treat this as a complete victory? Not for her, but say it to me. Like if you were going to sum up, like what is Syl unhappy about with this? Actually, let me rephrase that. Are you afraid that? Wait, what are your conditions right now?
Insecure, angry.
Are you mad at yourself that you weren't perfect? Or are you sure that even though it feels like you did a good job, when you talk to Vigil, she's gonna have a laundry list of stuff you did wrong?
What I think, I'm angry at myself because I could have stayed conscious and I didn't. And the fact that I wasn't conscious the entire fight and my moves were sloppy, and I just look at everything and I'm going, I could have done so much better.
So Silhouette expects she has an expectation that she's going to be perfect. That she needs to be perfect. All right. And you're not treating this like an
Basically, my
unmitigated victory
sense is I could have done
because
so much better.
I'm like almost the exact opposite. It's like I expect myself to be really imperfect and completely fail and like kill everyone.
That
So,
could have gone so.
she doesn't remember. So what you get off of her is she doesn't remember the fight. She's not. Well, that isn't true. She can remember the fight, but she's not remembering the fight. She's reimagining the fight with everything going wrong. She's not allowing herself to picture what happened, but what could have happened. And that's your kind of your understanding of where these guys are. And that may mean that you can say something to make them feel better, but you can speak directly to those things. Now, back over here, you got the thing, but you were saying it's like you can't expect yourself to blah 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 blah. Okay, there is a move. You have conditions, right, Kaylee? You have conditions, right? All right. So there's a move here called comfort and support. And what you're saying and doing is very much a comfort and support. It's like, you can't expect, you did great. You can't be perfect all the time. You can't be, your mentor has been doing this for 20 years, but you were awesome. There's a possibility that that's going to be taken well and make her feel better. There's a possibility it'll make her feel not as much better. Okay.
This is my first fight.
Comfort and support. When you comfort or support someone, roll mundane. That's your mundane.
Oh,
you
my
roll
mundane.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Roll your mundane. Now, do you have a +1 forward? Did I have you write that down?
Yes.
So you can take that. And you have, now here's a couple different, what's your mundane, first of all?
-1.
-1, okay. So you're at -1. You have a +1 forward on your next roll. You have influence with the person you're doing this to. So when you're doing a provoke or assess the situation, or pierce the mask, if you're going to provoke somebody or pierce the mask or comfort and support them and you have influence over them, you get to use that influence as a free bonus on helping them. Because they listen to you, you get a better roll on your social stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a total of +1
Okay.
on this roll to try to comfort and support them. Whoa. I saw that 3 and I was like, whoa. Okay, so comfort and support. On a hit, they hear you. They can mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels if they open up to you in return. Okay? On a 10, you can also add team to the pool or clear a condition yourself because you feel so awesome about how you made them feel that you can actually clear one of your own conditions. You didn't roll that high, but that's fine.
And I don't have conditions either.
You don't have any conditions, so it doesn't really matter. So, she's saying this stuff, and it's, we talked about the way it could be taken negatively, the way it could be taken positively, but because of her role, we know that it's landing on you positively. How do you open up to that? Or do you? Maybe you don't. We just go past this and you just say, screw it, I don't need the clear conditions.
I think I'd just be like, I don't think that Vigil's always trying to tell me what I did wrong, and I feel like I'm never good enough because she still looks at me like everybody else, like I'm blind, so I need to be worked harder, and I need to be pushed past maximum because there's something that needs to be picked up for. There's something that needs to be, there's just another problem.
Do you think that counts as opening up? You get to say whether or not that was enough. Did she open up?
Yeah, she talks about her main problem.
Totally.
And,
Yeah.
why she's feeling this way.
Okay, so Kaylee, you can either clear condition, mark potential, or shift your labels.
I think I will clear condition.
What are you going to clear?
Angry.
Angry? You're not angry. You're still feeling a little insecure.
Yeah.
But
Because I still know that Vigil's, she's coming at me with everything she's got, but I'm not angry anymore.
No, I wouldn't even get 10 steps closer.
So you
She'd
have
be like, no.
you have this kind of Palacine. You have this insight into kind of what's going on in their heads right now, literally. Are you doing anything with that? You say anything about that? Do you want to? Are you gonna?
Well, so far I've just been sitting here, but I'm gonna talk to them each separately
Or you want to?
in their brain.
Ooh.
That is really gonna freak us out.
That's
Well-
gonna freak me out.
Well, you guys have had telepathic. No, there's no reason for it to freak you out. You do this all the time with. Vigil does it all the time.
Oh right.
Yeah, Vigil does it all the time.
Freak me out because
No, we
I
get.
feel like when she does it, I'll be like, that's different.
Well, I thought we had established in the first time you guys met that when you the way you quickly got organized against Rampage was a couple of telepathic communications.
oh.
I think you guys knew that she could do this. It's actually one of the reasons that
Oh right, yeah.
it's one of the reasons that Silhouette didn't end up buying team communicators for you guys because eventually she just figured out you guys are gonna have sort of a telepathic network
That's
going.
just redundant.
Yeah, wherever we are, I just contact one person.
Of course, I can take down the network by knocking out Palacine, so I'm gunning for that at some point in time. Palacine's down, network's down, you guys can't talk.
That happens a lot during
Young Justice, yeah. There's a telepath in there.
My God!
Crap, nobody's on the network. All right. Okay, so let's go. Who do you want to do first? Who do you want?
Silhouette. So
What
I know
do you
I
say in her head?
So I say, so imagine you were still the person you were today and you had all this training, but Vigil wasn't in your life. You would have had the same battle and you would have thought it went just as you planned. So just think of it like that. It went perfectly. You succeeded. And you got the job done.
So she's saying is if you take Vigil out of the equation, if you do anything other than compare yourself to Vigil, you're great. It's only because you're comparing yourself to Vigil that you think you weren't perfect. Quit trying to be your mom.
Not my mom.
Quit trying to be your brain mom.
Not my mom.
Okay, so I think this is again like a comfort and support type of thing. So go ahead and roll, and you add your mundane to this. You have influence, so you get to add an additional one because you have influence with Sil right now.
9.
That's pretty good. All right, so Sil, again, you can. What am I going to say here? You have options here with the thing, so you can you can mark potential, clear condition, or shift your labels if you open up back to.
But I have to open up first.
Yeah.
Is there a way that I can?
You want to think about it a little bit? Or
No, I don't think that she would really take that because there's not a situation where it's but it doesn't work like that. I know I won and we got the guy and I know that we won, but if I could have just done something a little different, if I could have just stayed conscious, if I could have done all these little things, then I think I would have felt better about it, and maybe yeah, if Vigil wasn't in the equation, I would have thought it was perfect, but that's not really the case. She is there, and I do want to impress her, and I do want to.
I think that still counts as opening up because what she admits there is that she really wants to impress
I
Vigil.
need to impress her.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, she might just leave me.
Does that?
Again.
Ooh.
Again.
Does that count as opening up?
Again?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
Wait,
So-
she said again. Wait, do you mean Vigil has left you before? Or people leaving? That's for you to find out and me to know.
The readers are going. Wait a minute.
Wait, technically, can I hear this conversation?
No.
Okay.
The comic book readers are like, again, does that mean Vigil or somebody else abandoned her? Find out in issue 2, ladies and gentlemen. Back on the
Probably not issue 2. This is an
Find out
issue.
in a later issue. Next issue coming out in 3 weeks.
Maybe she'll just leave me
2 weeks.
again.
All right. So, clear a condition, shift your labels, or what's the other? Take potential. Take potential? Yeah, take potential. Mark potential.
I think
Clear
I'm gonna
condition.
mark potential.
You're gonna keep
Because
insecure.
I don't think that opening up was me being less insecure about it. I think that was me more being like, just like letting like.
Admitting it is a way of
Admitting.
growing, and that's certainly marking
Yeah.
potential. Now, what do you say to Firestarter over here?
Matchstick.
Firestarter.
That's your least favorite song.
Okay.
It's just
All right,
a-
all right.
It's basically what I was saying
It's just
earlier
an
with the
insult.
we won. You
Mhm.
did nothing wrong. It went as planned, but I'm yelling it over and over in her head.
It
I
went
mean-
right.
Oh my god,
It
stop.
went
I
right.
already have a
It
headache.
went right.
Oh. So I'm like, oh my god, stop. I already have a
And I'm
headache.
telling her like she did perfect. She did what she had to do.
Don't think about what could have gone wrong because it didn't go wrong. You did well. This is good. This means that you can somewhat control it, you know.
And then
I'm not gonna say it for you because like
Well, yeah, that's
Sorry.
basically what I was
I'm
saying.
sorry.
No. Yeah, it's hard not to sometimes. Isn't it?
I just want to be everybody.
Don't we? Don't we all?
Yeah.
You
I
have-
actually don't want to be everybody at my school because everybody at my school sucks.
that's true.
Okay, so
Okay. And I'm like, so maybe this fight went well, but what about the future fights? The fights when I do mess up, when I lose control, and I hurt someone so much,
Sorry.
or even kill them. I don't think I should be the one who's doing any of this because I'm gonna hurt someone. I might kill someone.
Well, I think these earthling thoughts that you're having are stupid. You should give it up, wait till the next battle, see what happens. It's probably gonna go well. We're a good team. We work well together, and, you're an amazing
This
person.
part's loud enough, loud enough. It's broadcast in such a way that you guys are both getting it.
But it's
Like only in like this.
but a
this
life
part,
doesn't
like,
equal a let's see what happens. A let's see what happens is a controlled environment, not a innocent civilian.
And the nurse kind of comes by and goes, "Sweetie, no." She's not gonna say anything because you're having the second. thing.
Yeah.
All right, now that definitely counts as opening up. You don't have any conditions right now, right?
Nope.
So you can mark in potential, or if you want, you can shift your labels. If it makes sense for you to go, I feel like I see myself as a danger, so my danger should go up. You can. When I say shift, the deal with shifting is they have to. If one goes up, one other one has to go down. You're always going to total 3 points right now until you get one of your advances that raises your stats. So you can do that, or you can mark potential because we got a long row to hoe here. We don't have you haven't marked a potential yet, have you?
No.
Oh,
And I still
Well,
have two
I'm kind-
conditions.
I'm kind of
oh.
I'm kind of
Palacine's
feeling
like, I'm supporting you, but I'm dying inside.
I'm
That's great. I'm super
That should
supportive.
be your new thing. I'm supporting you, but I'm dying inside.
I mean, as taglines go, it's a little weak.
I'm kind of feeling like marking the potential because she's like, well, you're
growing.
probably gonna do great the next time around.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait,
you think of
and you
potential
did
as,
you
like,
wait? Did you
growth.
roll for her? You didn't roll for her. You need to roll
Oh, that's right.
because
Wait, I thought you said that she rolled a 9.
No,
for
that
you,
was
not for
you.
her. There's two different things happening.
Oh,
So would it be +2 again?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you don't wait.
Yeah.
Because I
She
have
has
influence. And
You have influence and you have a +1 Monday. So yeah, it would be +2.
Oh wow.
14.
Boxcars.
Wow.
So that really has a positive
So
effect, right?
actually, same thing
Wow.
for you. Same thing for you,
Boxcars.
but that's actually awesome.
6 is called boxcars, by the way, and then 1 is called snake eyes.
Why now? Here's a question: gaming trivia, dice trivia. Why are they called boxcars?
Because they're like trains.
Huh? Because it looks
like
like
a
because
bar.
they're
It's
they're
like a
two
little
they're two
bar
like
on a train.
rectangles, so
Yeah,
it looks
it's
like the
a bar.
boxcars on a train, double boxcars. All right, so again, comfort and support. On a hit, they hear you. They mark potential clear condition, shift labels. On a 10 plus, you can also either add team to the pool or clear a condition yourself.
Great.
You made such an impact, and you can see that impact that you actually feel better about yourself and clear.
Guilty.
Yes, I love it.
I'm
Okay,
such a
so I'm-
great
Because
friend.
I'm like cheering them up,
So
and so I don't think I should be guilty anymore.
You feel better. You.
I'm
some-
still
okay,
afraid
I'm
though.
gonna mark the potential.
I'm like, that guy was
Such a great
scary.
friend.
2 more till I get a
Like,
advancement.
what?
All right,
What's
girls.
coming out of
Well,
my eyes?
your vitals say that you're okay, and Headmaster Hellbinder says everybody needs to be back on their feet and back on classes before lunch because none of you were hurt badly enough to warrant
And
it.
I just kind of collapse on my bed and go, ugh.
He is going to want to see you during your free period later just to check in and make sure everything's okay, but you have lunch coming up and just...
But that's when I do my homework on my free period. Oh no.
Okay,
And I'm just like, oh, we
here's
have
your
to
personal
see
belongings,
Hellbinder.
backpack. Sweetie, you had this around your neck. I took it off just to make sure there wasn't any scoring or anything like that, but there you go.
Just kind of steal it. Just
She's got this long chain and it's got like a key on the end of it that she was wearing around her
I
neck.
snatched it up real quick.
Okay.
Like, real
Is
quick.
that the lock to your heart for Jack?
Yeah, he has the other half. The other half of a key.
No. Okay. Back to normal. Sorry.
All right.
So,
And that seeing that again kind of reminds you of the whole thing because it was left on the breakfast table this morning. No note, just a key on a chain with the numbers 119 etched into it.
what was that?
You are amazing and the smartest person I've ever.
She either thinks I'm really, really smart or she's imagining I did something and it's not what I did and I'm going to feel really crappy that it's not what she thinks. If you want to, you can unleash your detective powers to figure out stuff about this.
Well, I think I know.
If you want to take a
I
guess.
think that you got an apartment room in the complex, or that's the key to the secret base. That's definitely the key to the secret
Yeah,
base.
that's what I was thinking.
I thought it was
Wait,
like the
what
house
is
key
secret
for a
base?
second.
I don't know. I just heard secret base earlier.
I have no idea.
Oh, no,
I never
that's
heard anything about
that's
a secret
detective skills. How do I do that?
Wait,
Unleash
so
your
I'm like, what
powers.
was that? And you're just kind of like,
Unleash your powers.
No, I am so excited to go to class
Oh.
because I want to
When you
know what
unleash
school
your powers
is.
to overcome an obstacle, reshape your environment, or extend your senses. Extend your senses.
Yeah.
Roll plus freak.
You're overcoming it's actually overcoming an obstacle, but
Freak. My freak is a 0, so I'm just gonna.
okay. Keep in mind you guys can throw in team to kind of help out with this thing.
That is a 9.
wait, can I throw in team to help
I
out?
swear to God, that's
6 plus 3.
6 foot. Yeah, you can throw in team if you want to like get her to a 10, and then we get her to because you don't really want temporary. You either. So here's the thing: at a 9, you can go. It's temporary, unstable, or you take a condition from from something that you learn about it, or one of you guys kind of boost things up a little bit to.
Ooh.
So
If I
it's a
took
key.
If I took a condition, then I would be guilty because I'm like, I did so bad on that fight.
No,
And
I'm
she
going
gave me
to.
No, we
base
can't
for
let
it.
her take a condition.
Yeah, so I'm going to add a.
We can't allow
Okay,
that.
so she's looking
I
at the thing.
just
So she
said,
actually,
all of a
the
sudden,
nurse walks up. She goes,
cheer her up.
"Well, the next period doesn't start for 20 minutes, girls. So just you can sit in here until the bell rings, and then you need to get going." And she kind of
walk
wants to.
around my house
So
like
you-
a Hulk
she's
with
got-
her Jack.
She's kind of sitting there. She's kind of sitting there. Okay, she's kind of sitting
Staring
there,
in Mr. Brick's classroom.
looking at the thing, looking at the key. You guys can see this thing,
Well,
and
I
she's
don't
kind of.
really know.
Shh.
You
Hush,
will.
child.
You will. That's next session. And she's kind of fingering that etching across the thing. So, what does the key mean?
Secret base.
How do you explain to these guys? Because Vigil's been saying, what has Vigil been telling you about, like, or what have you been asking Vigil for, like, someplace? Did Vigil say something like, I'm gonna, find you a place for this team of yours to,
No.
or
She-
did you say something like, if you want us to keep out of trouble, you ought to find some place for,
No, I think
Get us
that
get us
she
a floor at the oversight building or something like that. And she's
No,
like, no.
I think that she just like she saw the fight with Rampage. Like she showed up. She's obviously she's obviously going to hear about like she knew I was like. I think that she's had this away for a while. Like ever since I started Phoenix Academy, she's had this place tucked away. Like in case I have a clique or I like joined like the school. Like she's just had this place in case I found a team that sticks.
So those two buildings there, the big O is for the oversight superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
That one there, that high-rise building that's like 3 spines, is the one of the buildings. That's another one of the superhero bases around in the city. The head Aegis is the group that kind of like deals with like sort of dealing with supers and things that go wrong. Their building is a little bit less, well,
Extravagant.
it's memorable. It
You know what I do like while we're waiting if we aren't talking? I pull a pair of you know those sound canceling headphones that don't have like a cord to them? And I just put those on, just like,
because it kind of helps you. It's almost like, in a way, it's almost like
I do that after every fight.
it's not so much that you're the blindness, but it's like sensory overload from like someone who's like ADHD.
I do that after every
Okay, so
fight.
basically just ADHD.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Well, it's like after a long day of staring at a computer, you just need to close your eyes. Instead of closing your eyes, you close your ears.
So there's the
Because
That's
that's the most perceptive sense for me, other than touch.
so there's the
Smells is my least favorite.
there's the Aegis building.
Oh god,
It's
I
a
must
lot-
hate school lunch.
It's a lot more.
Huh?
I must hate school lunch.
Oh, because
You eat
it's
someplace else, yeah. All right,
Like,
so
I'm going to Chipotle.
all right, so you think it's a key. She gave it to you the first day of school, which means the base is probably somewhere here.
Basement. Never go in the basement.
You want to be the one who gives it to him?
Yes.
It looks like a locker key.
Holy
The
shoot!
number.
So that's
We
what
have to look
she's
for
like
the
looks
number.
over and she's like,
It's
That looks like
Jack's
that
locker.
looks like a locker key.
Ends up being Jack's locker.
No, it's like
Jack's locker.
it's like in Spider-Man: Homecoming when he like lifts
Yes.
up the lockers and all his extra stuff is underneath.
It's not like that, but okay.
It's Jack's locker. I just find that so amusing. It's just like you turn the key and the entire locker comes out instead of just the locker door.
Okay,
One
well,
time I go in to try and go into
are
the
we,
base and
because
he's
we
there and
have
I'm
20
like,
minutes.
You have
I'm
20
just
minutes.
gonna not.
I'm gonna go tell the nurse. I'm gonna be like, we are gonna go.
We're going to the restroom.
Yeah, we're just gonna go to
All
the
of us
restroom, kind of
together.
like come, clean up a bit, get our stuff together, and
Get herself ready for that.
I gotta know what this new restroom thing is.
don't mind her. She's a little,
She's a little loopy.
Okay, so 119 starts with 1 means it's got to be on the first floor. You guys wander the hall, and
Mr. Briggs.
I mean, you've been here for a year. What you find is one of the math classrooms. So there's a lot of main hallways there's lots of most of the lockers are on hallway. You guys have seen this.
yeah.
Most of the lockers are on hallways where there are doors off the classrooms. Every so often, there's like a classroom, and then there's like a little side hall, and it's narrow enough that like there's a row of lockers along the one side of it, but you couldn't put one on both sides.
Yeah.
It's just the one little row. It's just a little side thing, and they don't use them very often because it means like the kids are sort of back in this little nook thing, and it's weird. And you can't find 119 for like 10 minutes and you find finally there's like a math classroom where the hallway runs along the side, and all the way at the end of the hallway there's actually a door that goes into the back end of the classroom, but it's like
just
permanently
a math
blocked.
classroom. Just a math classroom. Totally
It's not Mr. Briggs. Oh, it could be.
Aw.
You know, fine. Let's make it Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
All right, but that
My
door
first
is actually
glimpse
like
of Mr. Brooks.
like the bolt inside of the door is actually shot, so that door doesn't open. You get to 119, and it's got a big padlock on it, but the padlock doesn't have a key. There is a spot for a key, like the locker. It's an old style locker. It's got like a key hole for it, but then somebody also put a padlock on it that you don't know the combination for. What do you do with the key?
I have to kind of like feel around on the door for a minute.
Yeah, you kind of went down here just trailing like, okay, 117, 118.
Yeah. Because I can read numbers.
And she's like
fast.
leading us. We're kind of
Like-
just following her because we haven't been in this.
If it
Yeah.
says like 19 right here, I can literally just go like that and be like 19.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I can read numbers fast. Just
Okay.
Words are more difficult.
Okay, so
So, God, I don't know.
Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
I ask you, what's a significant but not too obvious thing? It doesn't even have to be numbers. That Vigil has mentioned to you, or that Vigil knows about you.
if you end up in a maze, always turn left. Keep your hand on the wall and
Yes.
always turn left.
Yeah.
So you put the key in and turn left.
Turn left.
So the padlock, she turns and the door actually like pops. Like the padlock is just there. It doesn't actually
It's
lock
decoration.
the door. It's just
It's
And-
just hanging around the handle.
so the door opens like this, and then the back it opens like left to right, like that. The back of the locker, and it's a full size locker, right? The back of the locker swings this way as the front door. As the front door is opening, the back door does this, and then the shelving and the floor both, like the shelving goes up and the floor drops. So it becomes like it's narrow, but it becomes like a step through into this. Like there's a room past like through here, kind of a thing.
Like I feel the side of the hallway, and then I just kind of like smile a little bit.
Wait,
just
and
like,
then I grab Quinn's arm, and I'm like, I don't think we should do this right now because
Well,
maybe.
next thing is lunch. It's lunch.
And
I'm not.
and remember,
Not for that food
well,
anyway.
Wait, when's our off period? Is it
Like-
after lunch or?
Two
You
more
missed it.
2 more periods after lunch.
I
What was
go,
that?
not for that food. She goes, what's food?
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't have a mouth. I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
you do right now, but
Well, yeah, like
Typically.
on
Like
my
her.
planet.
Well,
I
because
don't
what
need
I
a
think
mouth.
we should do.
just absorb it through my
What
hand.
I think we should do is we should
Just like a goop. You just go.
I suggest. I think maybe we should just finish out the school day and do it at the end so that we have as much time as we need.
Oh, no. Not at the end of the school day. Are you kidding me?
Why? What's at the end of the school day?
The cleaning bots are at the end of the school day.
What's a cleaning bot?
Nothing you ever want to encounter.
I love what I've just learned about this high school. No, this is the secret base. I want to see the secret base. I want to find the secret base now.
Okay, well,
Just kind of grab her and drag her in.
I'm like, are you?
No, I grab
like-
her. I grab her like
like-
this, cause
Yeah.
seeing that's how people guide. Like you
Yeah,
do
sure.
by the elbow.
Yeah, you
And I'm
don't
like,
do it.
I'm more guiding her than she's guiding me.
And
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
we're seeing the secret base.
I
I
grab
press a
Palacine
pressure
at the,
point and her arm locks.
No,
I grabbed
as-
Palacine at the last moment, and I'm like,
I
are
have
you
a-
sure?
I have a better idea.
Okay.
So as they're arguing, I turn into a snake and I slither in.
Nice.
And you're
I'm
like,
like,
okay.
okay.
And then,
Okay, so you
like,
step through
okay,
the-
I guess we're going. I'm like, are you sure?
You step through the narrow space and into a room. It's not very big. It's maybe 7 by 7. Okay, and you get in there and you're in there for about 3 seconds. The locker room door, the locker doors both close, and when they do, the light comes up in the room. There's kind of a humming sound.
Like when you turn on like the lights in the gym, it kind of goes like.
you ever see the TV show Lab Rats?
No.
No.
Oh, well, there's a secret
Oh.
base thing. Does it kind of look like that?
No,
'Cause
I'll
it's
tell you
like-
what it looks like.
Okay.
No, it opens up, and you're like those, you're like, it's an elevator, and right about then it goes boom, and it starts going down.
This?
I'm like, we're going too far down.
Security access confirmed.
Okay.
Identified. Silhouette. Identified.
Okay.
Ember.
So I
How
go,
does it know me?
this is an
Identified.
elevator. And
Palacine.
I like immediately go to the floor. It's like, it's a hanging box. I hate
So,
hanging boxes.
the voice
And
is-
I'm freaking out because I'm really insecure about this and I don't want to miss
The
class.
voice is like, identified. Silhouette. Identified. Ember. Identified. Palacine.
It's Vigil. She knows who everybody is.
Welcome to the base.
Are you
I'm
sure we should
literally
be down here?
sitting,
We're gonna miss
sitting,
class.
like, for
I
my
really
spot
need to
on,
know.
for, like,
We're gonna miss class. I wanted to make it to social studies.
ooh. You're like, how does it know who I am? I'm like, for my spot, like, on the floor, I'm just like, it's Vigil. She knows who
knows
everybody
everyone.
is. Oh my god, yes. Yes, 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 yes,
Question:
queen.
can we bring some snacks out here? I'm getting hungry. Because we started talking about lunch, and then I actually got hungry.
Did you guys get any cookies yet?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Can we have more cookies?
Well, Kate's
There's
doing
a
that.
garage. There's a garage.
There's nothing in the garage.
There's
you
a
could,
Batmobile.
you could park the ship in there.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like you should make your ship
So you guys kind of step
more
out.
grouped.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not just one.
Okay,
And I'm
so
like,
you guys step out of the elevator, and and the lights
It's
all kind of
really
come
enough
up.
for like.
So, like, sort of what looks like some sort of sparring pit. You see some sort of weird little kitchenette area over
And I'm
here.
feeling it around. I'm like, yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I walk straight to the bookcase.
There's lots of
There's a she put in a teleportal.
Oh
I know
my
exactly what it is, like just by the feel of
there's
the
a
metal.
smell. There's a
Oh,
weird
yeah,
smell
there's
to
a
the
weird
teleporter.
smell.
It's not.
Like
It's
it
kind of
doesn't
electric.
exactly smell like metal, but it's not plastic either.
Yeah, it's got a particular kind of smell.
okay, so I go over to the bookcase.
And like there's like
So the deal with the protege is you pick 3 things that the mentor gets for you, and it's things like communicators or
in base,
surveillance
a
gear,
supercomputer,
a vehicle,
communicators, surveillance equipment, false identities, badges of authority, a chem lab, a med lab, a teleportal, a weapon of last resort, security systems, simple robots, security systems,
Secret base, security system,
and teleportal.
and teleportal.
Yeah. And I'm like, I feel like I step onto the training pit, and like it lights up, and it's like recognize silhouette. Who would you like to spar today?
And I'm like, Quinn, what is this? And also,
Actually, what it says is recognize trainee 1 silhouette. This now here's the thing. There's something else you can sense about this that you can smell. It's in the air. This place has been in storage for a while. It's old. It's not new. It's been probably in storage, if you had to guess, 10 to 15 years.
You gotta make it colorful.
What is this place? This is the base, obviously.
okay, I'm still confused. Where did you get this?
I'm walking around this place grinning like a little girl, by the way.
Why do you want this? How does it help? And what is a cleaning box?
Okay.
What is a cleaning bot?
Just like
The end.
that would be such a good tagline.
That scared me so
She does
much.
not.
I'm sorry to inform you that these 4 cookies do not fit in the tin.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
There's only 4.
This is
I mean,
horrible.
just-
This is the
I
worst
already
day
had
of my
one.
life.
Oh, okay. Let me help you then.
I already had
Thank
one,
you
and
so much.
it was
It's
delicious.
amazing.
But I'm not gonna have another one. 'Cause
Mm.
I haven't had a good run all week, so
There's a little tray of these cookies on.
I'm not gonna have any more.
No, I mean in the game.
Oh yeah, in on the table, in the little what is it called, the lounge.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a tray of snacks, and a note.
When I see
And
the
I
snacks,
go there-
I'm like,
oh my
see?
god.
I go
It's
there
fine
first
if
because
we miss
I'm
one.
at the
There's a little
bookcase, and I'm like,
There's a little note sitting on the table, and it says, "Proud of you, V."
No, it doesn't.
I'd
It
Okay, wait.
says
be like, I'm the fashion type stuff.
yes. I know what it says.
so because I'm at the bookcase and I go in first. I see
You're like
the
looking,
bookcase.
ooh, books, and you look past, ooh, cookies.
And then I'm like, Quinn, there's a note for you, and then Palacine and I both grab
Cookies, and you're like, the front of it doesn't say silhouette on or anything like that. It says, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. And then you flip it open, and it says, just kidding, nerd. Obviously, I'm not going to make a reference like that because I would never stoop to reading books, to reading that kind of book. Get to work, V.
And in the meantime,
Don't wreck my base. Get to work, V.
And in the meantime, I'm explaining what a cookie is to Palacine.
I take my first bite and my face just lights up. I'm like,
Food is good.
this is the most amazing thing that has ever gone into my body.
Why do you think half our population is fat?
And with that, we find ourselves at the end of issue 1.
No.
Wait, can we keep going?
No, we can't. Good night.
Uh,
How'd we do?
but it's only 10:30. Awesome.
It's only 10:30, but we really do need to stop because somebody is going to have their folks come and pick them up at 8 to 8:30 or
Yep,
something like
that's
that.
We need to drop off at 10.
And we need to drop you off, and we got to prep you up and get everything rolling because we need to roll out of here at probably 10 at the latest
Yeah.
to do the drop-offs. Because here's the thing. Let me help me walk through this because okay, I stopped that. Wait, let me check the other one here.
No, you don't get, no.
Stop recording.